Okay, so last time you guys. Oh crap. Okay, so last time you guys decided to check out around the town, figure out what the heck's going on. Telwyn challenged Strahd to a duel at the very beginning. Uh, Strahd hit her with flight. She failed the save. We forgot that she's supposed to take half damage from necrotic damage, but next time we'll remember that. And then after that, you guys looked around trying to find any information on Strahd's castle, what to do. You talked to a couple people, and overall the consensus was that this tower that belonged to Viskopa, the architect of Strahd's castle, might hold some kind of answer to it. So everybody decided to go here. Telwyn also tried to find the werewolf hunters, but it seems that they are not currently in, which includes not only the werewolf hunters, but the children too don't seem to be in either. But everybody at the very end decided to head out for the tower. It's about mid afternoon. It's not mid afternoon. It's a little bit after noon, really, right now. And I also make sure that we've got our thunderstorm going because it is storming out. So let's get that going.
Oh, so we have a storm going too.
Yes, there's a bit of a storm at the moment. Also, I showed a picture what the tower looks like, right? This right here would be the tower.
That gets me in the mood.
Yeah. And so fun fact is that's a picture of afternoon in Barovia. So yeah, you've got this, it's about an 80-foot tall tower on this peninsula jutting out into this still lake over here. A light mist rolling through. The sun just barely making it through the clouds there.
And there are not actually any lights on in the tower. I would assume.
Right now, technically no, there are not any lights on right now. But
the guy's supposed to be dead. If the lights go on, that's going to be kind of freaky.
But there is that carriage out front, and there seems to be like this scaffolding on the left side of the building, and at the very front is that main door. There are two lit torches of some kind on either side, though. Those torches are alight. And then pretty cool tower.
But the torches that you said are lit, are they on the tower or the scaffolding or what?
They're like on either side of the door. So one on the left side of the door and one on the right side of the door.
Telwyn looks at Duncan. I got the impression there shouldn't be anyone home.
Well, there is a cart here. Someone must be in there. Might not necessarily be the owner of the tower. I think we should tread carefully.
He did.
Oh, you cut out.
Oh, sorry about that. I would hope not. I thought the owner was supposed to be dead.
But as I said, it might not be the owner. Could be another journey. Another person on a journey just like us, looking for clues. We can't assume that they're a friend.
I very much wish that we still had Althea.
Yes, I believe he had success breaking into a cart much like this one not too long ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite as good with the lockpicks, but I can certainly give it a shot.
If you would like to try, it's not a skill that I have, even remotely, any facility for.
Well, if I fail at that, you can certainly use your skill of bashing down the door.
Yes, that I can do.
Alright, I'm gonna roll investigation on this, this cart.
Okay. So, 12 investigation. What are you doing in particular? Are you just like looking around the outside of it, touching it?
Looking around the outside. I'm looking on the outside, not touching. I'm just because it does look familiar to Rictavio's, as you said before. I'm looking for any signs or anything on it that would denote its owner and
Okay.
like who it might be.
So there's a bunch of layers of mud on the wagon, but it seems like it's well maintained apart from just being completely muddy, well worn traveled. The wheels kind of have a fancy gold trim. There's a purple lantern hanging from each corner, and there's also red drapes covering a tombstone shaped window on either side of the wagon. And it looks like there's a steel padlock that secures the back door. And on that back door as well, there's a cheap wooden sign hanging on it that says "Keep Out" in bold letters.
Duncan just kind of like appraises it for like long and hard for a moment as he kind of like does a quick lap around it and then looks back to everybody. Well, it's as I thought. It is a cart. I guess I'll just have him roll. I guess
I'll play Moutan and Osman, I guess, for right now, and maybe Rocky. Yes, it does seem like a cart. Moutan just has his hands clasped together.
You can never be too sure in these lands, you know. It could be some kind of strange creature masquerading as a cart. I mean, we did encounter something quite like that recently. I want to do like a perception check on like the lock and like the back door just to see if it's trapped or anything like that. Because there is a very big bold sign that says "Keep Out," and usually those, you know, signs are not the only deterrent.
Okay, so you want to like investigate like the lock a little bit, just kind of see and think about it. Okay,
Would that be or like would that be investigation or would that be perception? I don't.
I'll say that's probably going to be a separate investigation roll.
Cool.
17's pretty good. With a 17, I'm gonna go ahead and say. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say that as you're investigating the lock, you do see it is locked, for one. You also see a bit of a string attached to the door, very well hidden. And it appears like the string goes inside the cart. You can't really see inside the cart at all, but you do manage to see a little bit thin lining of a string. It seemed like in the door itself.
I could obviously assume that this is some kind of mechanism or trap, potentially.
Yeah, it seems like it's hooked up to some kind of mechanism within the wagon. Not fully certain what it's hooked up to, but you can tell it's hooked up to some kind of mechanism within the wagon.
I do have steady hands, but not that steady. This is a job, or would have been a job for Altheo. If any of you wishes to take a chance at handling this, then I welcome you to do so, but I'm not touching that. Not for a second. There's some kind of string or trap here?
I have no real interest in the contents of the card. I am more concerned with who the owner may be.
Precisely. But that also, learning that information also involves us getting inside. It's better that we know who the owner of this cart is before we go barging in and meet them face to face, lest we risk danger of attack.
I'll take the lead. And Telwyn draws her sword and prepares to go inside the tower.
Okay, so as you head up to the tower, it seems like the tower door itself is made of iron. No visible handles on the door itself. Hold on one sec, let me pull up something here. Okay, oh, also, Kyle, you back? He joined in the chat, but I don't know if he's fully here. Alright, so going up to the main tower itself, you can see it's a solid steel door that blocks entry into the tower, and on the door you can see 5 buttons descending vertically. Each button is identical, and they're evenly spaced apart from each other. The only thing that sets them apart is a series of characters engraved in steel next to each button, and at the top of the door, written in common, is "Press in order" or "Not at all."
So sorry, apparently it came back on and it didn't. It's working like in half the house now.
Oh, that's really weird. Okay, so to recap what you missed, Duncan checked out the wagon. He did an investigation check and found the back door was locked. He also investigated the lock and found a small piece of wire leading to the inside of the wagon to some kind of mechanism. He's not sure what kind of mechanism it is, but he knows it's attached to something inside the wagon. And then when Telwyn went up to the door, she saw a solid steel door blocking entryway. There are 5 buttons descending vertically. Each button's identical, evenly spaced apart from each other. And there's a series of characters engraved in the steel next to each button, and at the very top of the door is written in common, press in order or not at all.
See, this is pressing what or not at all?
Press
in order or not at all.
Or not at all. And so
in other words, you'd better know the correct sequence.
This is the bloody problem with wizards. Nothing is ever straightforward. I hate those people.
Tell me about the characters on the buttons.
So the characters next to each button are written what looks like in a different language, each button. So let's see here. The buttons are most of you can like recognize the different languages, I think. The first button, so is everybody kind of investigating these buttons or just Telwyn?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. So I think collectively you'd be able to like decipher what each writing is. The button next to button number 1 is Dwarvish. Does anybody in the group speak Dwarvish?
Yes, Duncan is well versed in Dwarvish because he needs to know Dwarvish mining law.
So button 1 in Dwarvish next to it is the writing 2 or 4. And then I'll put this up in a second once I determine what languages everybody knows. Oh, also Chandler's here.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay. So I'm going to recap what happened, what you missed there. How was your test?
I got a 98. I'm pretty proud.
That's pretty fantastic, actually.
Yeah, sorry it took so long. I was making sure I was like double checking everything because like I need good grades in this class.
I mean, that's better than what I would have done. So.
Thanks, man.
Okay, so they checked out the cart. So there's a carriage down here. Can everybody see themselves in the map too? They should be at
my
like
map's
the very...
still loading, so give it just a second or
okay.
two.
And if you can't see yourself, it should be like at the very bottom. Also, if the ambience is too loud, I can turn that down too for anybody.
Nah, it's great.
Okay, so they checked out the cart. Apparently, Duncan investigated it. He found that the back door was locked to it, and also further investigating the lock, he found that there was some kind of string leading inside the wagon hooked up to some kind of mechanism. He's not sure what kind of mechanism it is, but it's inside the carriage itself. And then Telwyn went up and looked at the door to the tower. And so I'll just describe the tower door once again. So it's a solid steel door. On the door there are 5 buttons descending vertically. Each button's identical, evenly spaced apart from each other. And there's a series of characters. Each one is like a different language. And at the very top is the phrase, press in order or not at all. So they've already determined that button number 1 is in Dwarvish. Button number 2 is in Infernal.
Tilwyn knows that one.
Okay. Button number...
Wait, you know Infernal?
Yes, I do.
Ooh. Okay.
Doesn't Osmond know Infernal too?
No, remember that's the whole thing with my banjo is I don't know what it says. That's why I was asking around that other day.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Oh, this will be hilarious.
I think I missed you asking if anybody knew Infernal. Sorry.
I can picture
don't think you were there that day.
I can picture exactly how that conversation would go. Like you're sitting there one day, like you're playing, strumming a tune, the banjo starts speaking, Telwyn's walking by. It's just like that scene from Animal House where Bluto just smashes the guitar.
Basically. So Duncan knows the first button.
What did you just call me? Okay, so Duncan knows Dwarvish, knows Infernal.
Telwyn knows Infernal.
But I mean, Osmond probably won't bring it up right now. It'll just like a little question mark kind of pops over my head and it says Osmond will remember this. But I mean, besides that, I don't think there's going to be anything.
This is a Telltale game.
Yeah. I speak Common, Halfling, and Giant. I don't know if that helps.
You will know the third button then. The third button is Giant. The 4th button is in Common, so everybody should know that one. And then the 5th button is Elvish.
Tulin knows Elvish.
Duncan also speaks Elvish because there are many old and ancient diplomatic treatises that are written in the Elvish language, which
Alright.
are important to know.
In that case, amongst all of you here, you all know all the languages on this door, so I will go ahead and put up the puzzle.
I can neither speak nor read any of those languages. Except Common.
Except
Well,
Common.
I can't speak Common, but...
So, button number 1 is Dwarvish. It says 2 or 4. Button number 2, there's a phrase in Infernal next to it that says 1 or 4 or 5, and then next to the number is Never Trust a Fiend, written in Infernal. Button number 3 is in Giant. It says 6, and then next to that number is Giants Can't Count, written in Giant. And then button number 3 in Common says 3, and then button number 5 in Elvish says 1 or 2 or 4.
Bloody wizards, I can never leave anything straightforward. I can't make head or tails of this at all. I don't understand. What? Why doesn't... Like, what happened to a good old-fashioned lock and key? Why does everything have to be whimsical and elaborate with these people? Like, it makes you wonder if there's something wrong with their brains. You know?
I'm just kind of like looking at it and can't make heads or tails of anything that's going on right now.
Alright.
Anybody else have any other input with it?
Well, button number 3 doesn't make any sense because there's only 5 buttons and it's 6, so I almost feel like it's a complete red herring here. I don't think it has any value whatsoever.
Yes, it seems as though the only button that we can be certain of is button number 4. Which would be... it just says 3. Presumably if we're to press them in certain order, then that 4th button would be the 3rd button we... Oh, this is hurting my mind.
Rocky's just like looking between everybody, not sure what's going on.
The one written in
The end.
Infernal is the only one with a 5, so I believe that could be a clue, somewhat.
Yes, but Tobin also said that it said never trust a friend, so perhaps that's deception.
Never trust a fiend.
Oh, fiend, friend. I mean, is there very much distinction?
Alternatively, I don't know how this building checks out, but I do have a spell that lets me displace myself in relative space. I could try to zip my way behind the door and see if it is less complicated on the other side.
This sounds like an interesting stratagem. Perhaps it's worth a try. Just be careful.
Well, as long as I'm trying to figure this out.
Have you guys like translated it all verbally so that I can hear it?
Yeah, so everything has now been translated verbally, so everybody in the area is now aware of what the different buttons all say.
Okay, sorry, it's still cutting in and out a little bit, so I'm just trying to make sure.
Okay, yeah.
So, what is the layout of the door? Does it have like a handle? Does it have a knob?
There is no handle whatsoever. It's just a straight, solid slab of steel with the buttons just descending vertically down it with the writing next to each of them.
I'm ready, and that means Tulin is too, so we're going to try this. First the Elvish button, second Dwarvish, third Common, 4th Elvish again, 5th Infernal, and then 6th Giant. Elvish will try pressing them in that order.
There is no 6 button.
There's only 5 buttons.
6 is the time in the sequence. She's going to press buttons 6 times. First button press, Elvish. Second button press, Dwarvish. Third button press, Common. Fourth button press, Elvish again. Fifth button press, Infernal. And sixth and last, she's going to press the Giant.
All right,
button.
hold on here. Let's do some logical deduction here. I want to figure out the way you got to the bottom of this. This is out of character completely. Okay, so the only button that we know for certain is number 3. Okay, or button number 4, which is also the third press. So the common 3. Now the only one we're gonna try. The only thing that I think we can extrapolate off of that is the never trust a fiend riddle, which I believe makes it the inverse of what's written there. So it says 1, 4, or 5, when I actually believe that infernal button is either 2 or 3. Since 3 is the only one that we actually absolutely know, that means I believe that button number 2, the infernal button, is the second button.
And since we don't have a 5, we could say that the giant one is number 5.
And that's very likely, since they can't count, right? If you're stuttering when you're counting, right? You're just like 1, 2, 3, 5, 9. You know, that's my agreement on that. So I believe we have button number 2 is the second push. Button number 4 is the third push. Button number 3 is the fifth push, which leaves first as the Elvish and second as the Dwarvish. So I think we're looking at Elvish, Dwarvish, Common. Elvish. Sorry, no, not second. Elvish, Infernal, Common, Dwarvish, Giant.
I know, but she already pushed the buttons.
Well, we could say, do you want to, stop her from pushing the buttons first and then have that talk? Or do you want her to just push the buttons that she's pushing?
As far as I'm concerned, character action to character action.
Let her do it. Honestly,
Okay,
let her do it. I
we'll say.
want to see the consequences.
So Telwyn, say once again the ones that you put in.
Elvish, Dwarvish, Common, Elvish, Infernal, Giant.
Okay, 1 second. Okay.
And I figure she's going to get blown up.
So as you press the buttons, you hear a slight humming coming from the tower, and you can see this blue energy kind of encirculate the tower itself. It's just kind of like this low sheen, and all of a sudden the top of the tower kind of lights up, and there is a slight blue light that shoots out into the water behind it. It flickers for a bit, and then the tower goes back to normal. You can see in the water a little bit of smoke starting to rise from the water itself. Other than that, nothing discernible.
Well, that was rather anticlimactic. I was expecting a world-ending apocalypse. These wizards are very... As cryptic as they are, they're often as underwhelming. I guess we should try another combination, unless you'd like to try your little trick, Osman.
What was my trick again?
Did you not suggest that you were going to try and somehow squeeze yourself underneath the door, or something like that?
Let me try something real quick. Osman is just gonna walk up, pardon me, and just try to push the door open with his little halfling hands.
Okay, as you push the door, you put your hands onto the steel, and you could feel this humming of energy coming from the tower. You see the sheen of blue descend all throughout the tower once again. I need you to actually make a dexterity saving throw. Are you wearing?
Guapo.
Are you wearing? Oh, actually, this is everybody that's within 10 feet of the tower actually has to make the save.
Goodness.
Which I think is most everybody. I think Mautan's kind of stepped back by the wagon right now, but he's still, I think, would be technically. No. He's a little bit further back. If anybody is wearing metal armor of any kind, this is with disadvantage.
Nope.
You failed to mention that. Should I re-roll completely or just roll a second time?
So roll a second time and we'll take the lower one. So if you have any kind of metal armor on whatsoever, it's with disadvantage.
If I
have
roll
armor
really
on, but nothing
badly
is
and I
clothing.
want to add my favored by the gods,
Okay.
just so you know.
Okay. So we're gonna take the 11 on there. So you're gonna add the favor to the gods? Or keep 11?
Oh, you don't need to roll it. You're far enough away.
So Rocky, are you where you are on the map right now, or did you actually move closer to the tower when they were investigating the buttons?
I mean, I figure I'd probably be a little bit closer, just trying to get closer to everybody.
Okay, so we'll assume that you're
But
not wearing any metal armor, so you have the 15. And Telwyn's adding 4, so that brings your roll to a 15. Duncan, are you wearing metal armor?
No.
Okay. So your save is just 7. Osman has 23. Telwyn has 15. And Rocky has 15. Okay. So as this blue sheen descends through the tower, you can feel a crackling of energy as lightning erupts out from the tower, kind of descending a little bit 10 feet back in a shockwave against you. So let's see here. Okay, so let me roll something. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, so Duncan, you take a total of 27 lightning damage. Everybody else takes 13 lightning damage as this energy hits you like a kind of like just a strong force just kind of crackling against you, just kind of like you got blasted by a wave from Palpatine there.
Apologize for that. It's my bad.
Duncan just like knocked onto the ground. He like he
bit.
gets.
I mistook the or not at all for just, you know, a simple invitation. Thought they were just letting us in.
Duncan's like knocked to the ground. He like gets up. His like clothing is smoldering. One of his eyebrows is like half singed. What?
There's just like a little smoke rising up from your whiskers. Just
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, let's try and have a little bit more sense.
Mountain's just
Going towards
kind of like besides the wagon, just kind of meditating, and he just doesn't even seem to notice in his meditation.
Okay. Read me
Let's,
the buttons. Read me the buttons
go with
one more
your
time.
idea. Yeah.
Read me the buttons one more time. We can do this. We have to do this. Does anyone have a stick? Does anyone have a stick or something we can push them with?
I have a banjo.
Rocky has sticks.
Trying to she knows of magic to this problem. Does it give her any insight at all?
Okay, so just once more clarifying that, like, if you want to make a check, just let me know before you roll. That way I can, like, be sure, like, what we're
sorry,
rolling
I
for.
forgot.
Because then, as soon as you, like, say you want to do something, it's a new roll.
So you need me to roll again?
So restate the question one more time, because you cut out a little bit. I didn't fully hear what you were wanting to do with this.
To draw on her knowledge of magic, see if that gives her any insight at all.
Okay,
How to go about solving this problem.
Okay. For wanting to know, like, how to solve the problem, that would be more so of, like, getting insight in how to solve the problem would be more so, like, knowledge-based. It'd be more so, like, puzzle solving would be more so not Arcana. If you want to know, like, the nature of the magic, that'd be Arcana. But if you're wanting to, like, get an insight into, like, the logic of the puzzle, I'd say that'd be more, like, probably an insight or just, like, a straight intelligence check, I would say.
Alright.
It depends more so what you want to know about the door. Is it more so about, like, logic as to solving the puzzle, or, like, what the nature of the magic is?
All right, Telvin.
riddles. So, which would be the best for solving a riddle? This is basically a riddle.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say, like, trying to gain some kind of insight into it then. So I'd roll, like, an insight into this.
Okay. Coming up.
Okay. With a 13, with a 13, it's not going to be enough to just kind of gain like a super good insight. You know that you need to press the buttons in a certain order. The buttons will have a direction to them. There may be something to like the words written beside them that offer most of the clue to solving the puzzle. But from there, it's just up to basically your logic, maybe trial and error.
All right, Telvin, stand back. I'm going to give this one more try.
Duncan had said, Duncan, you are in no condition to try this again.
Well, I mean, that may be true, but frankly, I can't feel my face, so any more pain that happens, you know, I don't think I'll even feel it.
Alright, who wants to press the button?
Before we press the
better
buttons,
shape
before we
than
press the
Duncan.
buttons, wait. Before we do something like that, Osmond's gonna turn to Duncan and say, look, I apologize for my foolishness. I am not always the most intelligent in the lot, but I hope that I can ease your pain just slightly. And I'm going to play a quick tune and cast Healing Word on him at 2nd level.
Okay.
So that's 2d4
Right.
plus.
Do you not have Cure
3.
Wounds?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, I don't.
2d4 plus what?
Plus 3, I believe.
Yeah, it's plus whatever your spellcasting modifier.
Let me make sure it's 3 and not 4. It is 4.
There you go. So you can heal him 2d4 plus 4. I'll probably have you roll that.
Oops, that's my bad.
Oh, you. Yeah, 2d4. So it's 6 plus 4 then, in that case. So 10 hit points back. As you strum on your banjo, this soothing melody overtakes you, Duncan, and you could feel some of the singeing burns kind of start to mellow out. You could feel a little bit more of a numbing of the pain.
I can feel my legs again.
You don't quite smell so much of ozone anymore.
I can feel my legs again. Just hope that I can still have children. All right. Everybody stand back. That's an order.
Okay. So
Everybody stand back. That includes you, Telvin. Get back.
are you gonna stand next to him, Telwyn, or move back?
I gotta boss me around.
So she just stands there adamantly.
Right, it's your funeral. And he just like kind of like winces as he reaches out and pushes the Elvish button first.
Okay. So you press
And
the Elvish.
And he just waits to see what happens.
Nothing happens.
And then he like really winces when he like looks down at the infernal button and he pushes that.
Okay. Presses it. No discernible reaction from the tower.
Okay, then the common button,
Okay.
then the dwarvish,
Alright.
and then the giant.
Alright. With that, you hear a bit of a whirring and a clicking noise, and slowly the door starts to raise upwards until finally you could see inside the tower. Hold on one sec, I'm gonna move the door. So y'all should be able to see inside now.
And Duncan just like turns around and looks at everybody, and like a pall has just set over his features, like he looks like white as a ghost. And he just kind of like, that was the most frightening thing I think I've ever done in my life.
So yeah, now you can kind of see there's a little bit of a curtain inside the tower. Is anybody going inside?
Yeah, I just made it in.
Okay, so
She said she'd go first.
all right, I'll turn the thunderstorm down a little bit since you guys are going inside now. Okay, as you enter into the tower itself, you can see the floor itself is kind of strewn with debris. There's a few old crates standing near the east wall. There's a little torn curtain that's hanging partially to the side of this entranceway. It looks like it once blocked off uh, the inside, but now it's just kind of torn and frayed, so you can just see right past it to the inside of the tower. It looks like there's a 5-foot square indentation in the center floor that contains 4 pulleys attached to taut iron chains that stretch up to the very top of the tower itself. And then standing next to the chains are these 4 massive constructs of some kind. You could hear like this whirring and clicking coming from them. And as you step inside, you see them reach out and grab onto the chains in this very center here.
Get back. Get back. We don't know what those things are. Get back. The man already turned his door into a death trap. We don't know what could be inside.
Tillin looked up. What is up that they are getting ready to drop or whatever?
Okay, so you look up. So these creatures, they are some kind of construct itself. They are completely black with like this silver plating alongside. There's like these kind of giant holes in the chest where you could hear like whirring noises from the inside. And as you look up through the top of the tower, you just see the chains going up. It looks like 80 feet just straight up into the darkness up above. What's your dark vision?
Cantrip. So, here's an idea. You gotta draw a crossbow bolt. Going to cast light on the tip.
Oh,
I'll shoot it straight up.
okay. So
And
you
watch where it goes and what it lights up.
okay. So you could see that there are, before you light the crossbow and look up, you could see that there's like a roof of some kind overhead made of wood, but there's like this large hole, kind of a square-shaped cut hole, and it looks like it goes up for a bit, but at the very top it seems, yeah, it goes up like 80 feet. So you shoot the crossbow up there, and it reaches up all the way to the top. You can see it kind of pin into like the very top of the tower, and you can see there's just like this, what looks like it goes up like 3 floors worth, so it just looks like it like leads up to like these cranks and pulleys at the very top of it from what you can see. It looks like a giant pulleys, a set of pulleys at the very top that these chains are attached to. And the chains themselves seem to be connecting to the floor itself on the bottom here. So they lead up from the floor up to the very top to that pulley system at the top of the tower. And these 4 constructs are just each holding onto one of these chains. So the chains are kind of set in each segment of square. So like one right here, one right here, one right here, and one right here.
Now, I know you mentioned that the constructs are reaching out for the chains, but does it look like they've stirred or anything's happened since we've entered?
Since you
like,
entered,
we're just peering in through the door.
I mean, you've seen the movement of them. You see that the movement that they had is they had their arms at their side, and as you came in, their arms lifted up with a little clanking, and then they each reached out and grabbed one of the chains with both arms. So each one is currently gripping one chain with both arms. You can hear like this kind of clockwork clicking all throughout the tower as well.
What do you make of it? It looks rather sinister to me.
Shoot up.
You're cutting out.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that really.
Sorry. Let me try unplugging my headset and just using the laptop speakers.
Okay.
Okay, how's this?
I can hear you.
Okay. Owen says, I would like to cast light on the tip of one of your crossbow bolts
Yeah,
and
yeah,
see if you can light the top.
Well, you already did that with yours. You saw
Yeah,
that
but he's a better archer. He might be able to get further than she did.
yours, from what you could see, it hit the very top of the tower itself.
Ah, okay.
So the most that you could see was that these chains all lead up to the series of pulleys and levers at the very top of the tower. And that the bottom part of the chains are connected to each of these four corners of this square in the center of the tower.
There's not much that we can do from sitting here standing and staring. I guess I don't need to tell you, Telwyn, but take the lead, if you don't mind. I'm gonna feed my cat. He's
Better
going
in
crazy.
case she has to fight constructs.
You cut out again at the start of that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you're still cutting out.
It was just like the first half of whatever you said cut out.
And then the only thing that came through was
Fighting constructs.
fighting constructs.
Sorry about that. She's going to sheath her sword and draw her warhammer, because that might be better for fighting constructs if we have to.
A very prudent measure. A very prudent measure.
Okay, so you step
And
forward with
that,
Warhammer
she'll
drawn.
step forward.
Okay. Their heads kind of turn to you. You notice with a clanking, clicking, the heads just slowly turn towards you, just kind of looking at you. They don't seem to be saying anything. Their arms are still out, holding one of the chains each.
Okay. Twin's trying to be ready to dodge at a moment's notice, but she'll take another step forward.
Okay. The heads just keep following in line with you as you step forward. How far do you want to go?
How about that? See what happens.
Okay. Still, the only movement from the constructs is just their head following with you in line as you step forward. And then they just kind of slowly, as you go forward, they all turn center and look just straight at the floor, down in that center right there. Right in that little center square.
Yeah. So Telwyn will look at the center square. What's there? Anything?
From what you can see at the center square, it's just like this indentation in the center of the floor. The four pulleys attached to it itself, and you can notice that the ceiling of this level of the tower itself has the same shape square in the ceiling of this first level right here. And as you look up, you see, with the light still going, you can see that there's another second layer with a roof over that, with another same square-shaped another square-shaped hole in that floor as well. And it looks like it goes up.
Well, seeing how far in Telwyn's gone, Duncan's gonna kind of slide into the wall, up against the wall, and I just want to do an investigation check, just like on the bottom floor, to see what's happened in here or what's going on. Like, just look around this bottom floor, because the map seems to indicate there might have been some trouble.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have you roll. Do you want to just roll like an investigation check to kind of look around?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. It seems like the most thing that you could tell is like this place is just a mess. Like that's the first thing that stands out in your mind, is like this is terribly unclean. This is terribly in ill repair. It seems like this once could have been a really nice tower. It looks like these were like really fine hewn stones. It looks like these were materials of all kinds. You could see like little bits and scraps of metal and things like that. It looks like this was like a kind of a area for like a bit of storage and things like that, but no indication of what caused it to fall in such disarray. It could be age, it could have been a battle, it could have been all kinds of things.
Bloody wizards. Filthy people. Absolutely filthy. Look at the way that they live. What is the excuse for this?
I'm going to cast light on my Warhammer's head now.
Okay.
Kind of wave it around like a torch. Has anybody been here recently? Do I see any disturbance in the dust and stuff?
I'll also have you make a investigation check, just looking around the area. Okay. You actually, with an 18, you do see a set of footprints, actually, that don't belong to any in your party. In the dust and debris of the floor, there seems to be just like, there's like a line of dust covering the entire floor, and you can see there's a set of footprints, like, the footprints themselves don't seem to match. It's a two-legged being, from what you can tell from the footprints, but one foot seems completely different than the other. They leave like, one leaves a regular kind of foot indentation that you could see, but the other one kind of looks like there's a bit of like, let me see if I could just draw it, actually. Let me see if I could draw this.
It's like a drag, like a foot drag.
I'll draw it on the map. It looks like this with this. Like there's like a space in between. Kind of like there's a space in between the what's the front of the foot? I don't know. And the heel. There's like a space in between the front of the foot and the heel of the foot.
The ball and the heel.
Yeah, the ball and the heel. Looks like there's like a space in between them. But the other foot looks just like a normal footprint, like full foot pressed against the floor.
Okay, Tolwyn is going to.
But the footprints. Also, I should mention that the footprints lead to this little square indentation and actually stop in the middle of this square indentation.
Okay,
So it
Tolwyn
seems like
is
somebody's
going
walked
to...
on that indentation, up to that indentation. Sorry.
Okay, Tolwyn is going to hold her lit up warhammer head over the footprints and point to them. Duncan, you see those? Do you happen to
Yes.
know who they belong to?
Some kind of person? It's a completely generic observation.
Could they belong to this Rictavio you mentioned?
Rictavio did walk with a cane, but I don't know.
With an 18, you can tell that there wasn't any kind of cane used to walk up here. It seems like normal walking pace from whoever left these footprints. It just seems like one foot is completely different than the other.
And trust me when I say Rictavio would not be easily parted from his cane. It's worth quite a bit to him, and he's like Pat's Thumper.
So, what y'all want to do now?
Where's Kyle? Is Kyle here? Is Kyle here? Or is he still...
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry, it's like cutting in and out like super bad.
Yeah, your internet seems to be messed up.
Yeah, it's cutting out for all of us.
I think we need your blink ability for this next part.
Okay, so Duncan, do you want to like ask him to use his shadow step?
Yes. Bed Brain, come in here.
It's
I
infant
can
time.
hear pretty well. I just don't know if my chat is going through. So if you...
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, what's going on? So I'm so sorry because I know this is being a bit of a pain. So what's going on?
No, don't worry. So Duncan was asking like if you would try shadow stepping. Like I'm getting it right. You're wanting him to shadow step up to the next level.
Let me bring up to speed real quick. So we investigated this tower. There's these mechanical things in here, and they seem to be focused on this middle panel on the floor, which is very likely some kind of elevator system or something like that. But we're worried it might be a trap. So the idea is that you get on there with your shadow step, and then you can blink off if something bad happens, you know? Or if things go south, you can easily get back down to us, or go up if you really want to.
Yeah, Rocky will pull up and immediately do that. He will stand on the little center console thing.
And be careful, and just be ready. We don't know what will happen.
We don't know what will happen.
And so the constructs fix their eyes on you, Rocky, as you are on this center platform. And they seem to be waiting. Kind of, you can almost feel like they have like this expectant waiting, like they're waiting for some kind of answer. Or some kind of command.
Rocky doesn't know the word up.
Okay, so you say up.
I'm just gonna like look at them and just like look back to Duncan, like I'm super confused.
Likewise. Do you want to try blinking up to the next area?
Rocky will. Is there like a second floor above this one?
Can you even
Hold
go
on,
that
hold
far?
on.
It's 80 feet up, right?
So I should mention that this level right here is about 20 feet. So the ceiling itself from here is about 20 feet up. That hole is about 20 feet up. So there's one level up above here that's about 20 feet up.
Yeah, I'll vamp into the shadows above that hole.
Okay, so you blink up. You step into one of the shadows in the area, like one of the shadows that the construct is casting. Blink up to the next segment on the second floor, and you feel the floor as you drop down onto it, kind of creaking a little bit. I'm gonna ask a little weird question. How much does your character weigh, Kyle?
It's
Very
on
rude.
my character sheet. Yeah, that's fucking rude, dude.
And it's a
I weigh
rude question.
95 pounds.
Okay. Do you know what it might be with the equipment?
It should say like your total weight with equipment there.
Cut out a bit. You said I fall through the floor.
No, I'm just saying, like, with your total equipment, what's your weight? So, like, you yourself are 90 pounds, but your equipment will also weigh a little bit too.
Okay, I think I'm back in. You said I fall through the floor?
If you want to.
No. You
No,
don't.
I don't want to.
He wants to know how much your character weighs.
With the equipment.
95 pounds.
With the equipment? That's with everything.
Yeah, probably like 100 with everything because I've got gear and stuff on.
Yeah, so we'll say it's probably about 100 of your weight. So you feel the floor kind of creaking. You could, Duncan and Telwyn, and Osmond, you could feel kind of dust kind of settling down from the rafters, settling down onto your face. But Rocky, you managed to appear on the second floor. Seems to be fine. I'm gonna move you up to the next level. So you can just see them down through this hole up here.
I'm trying to feed my cat, okay? Be right back, 2 seconds.
You're okay. So yeah, you could just
I
see
am
them.
so sorry that my internet's so shitty.
That's alright. So yeah, you could like see them down through this hole. The floor's a little rickety and kind of creaky, but you seem to be fine up here.
So they're doing. So I can see that he didn't fall through the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Osmond is going to dimension door himself up there as well.
Okay.
I don't know if I have to say that Osmond is a halfling.
Yeah.
wearing no armor.
Okay. Do you know what your weight would be in general?
Probably. Oh, what would a 3 foot tall, skinny hobo man weigh?
Halflings at most are usually like 30 to 40 pounds, I think.
Yeah, I'm like a child weight, basically.
Yeah.
Like
But
picking
that's
up a
added to
small
mine.
child. And I'm carrying a rapier, which is like the lightest of weapons.
Yeah.
And
So
I
we'll
have
say
nothing else on me.
we could say at most that you're like maybe 40, 45 pounds.
We could say probably 40 max.
Okay. So combined, that's probably around 140 pounds between you and Rocky up here.
If it helps in any way, I would like to, because I can kind of control where I dimension door. I'd like to like go not next to him, but kind of maybe on the other side
Okay.
of the room, just to balance out weight.
Sure. I'll move you up there, so you should see yourself move a little bit slightly up higher on the map.
That's fine. I mean, my intelligence is 8, but I feel like common sense in this scenario would take over a little bit.
Yeah. So you dimension door to the other side. So just make sure you mark that spell slot. And
Yep.
then you are currently just facing right across from Rocky on the other side of this hole. You feel the floor creaking a little bit, kind of heaving under a little bit of the weight, but you seem to be fine up here too.
I tip
Now,
my
what can
hat
I
to
see
the
up here?
bird.
Up here on this second floor, there's mostly just all you can see is dust and cobwebs and kind of there's old like furniture that has been kind of like destroyed. There seems like there used to be workbenches and stuff that have been smashed in. Little bits of bottles and things like that. More bits of metal are on the floor. You can see gears and screws on the floor as well. Bits of shards of metal as well. Strange like oils and things like that as well. It looks like it was some kind of manufacturing place at one kind. For you can assume maybe like possibly manufacturing of some stuff that like the creatures down below. But if you want to see anything else, you can make like an investigation check up here or a perception check.
Yeah, I'll do an investigation check.
Okay, just
And
kind of looking around.
I'm gonna crouch down a little bit and kind of spread my legs out to distribute my weight a little bit.
Okay.
Oh man,
Did you
17.
see that? Did you see that Tilwyn is trying something?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't see that quite right away, but I'll go ahead and say that that's probably happening around the same time as this then. So just 1 second. All right, so Rocky, with a 17, as you look around, yeah, you could see like there looks like old smashed flasks are up here. You could see, yeah, tons of screws, gears, things like that, and you could see like little indentations in the wall, kind of like they look like strange. Upon like close inspection, they look like strange beetles of some kind of indented into the wall, and you can also see like gears kind of embedded in them as well, all throughout these beetle like things that are indented all in the walls. And then as Rocky is investigating all this, Telwyn steps upward into the indentation, says, "Up, please," and you hear a creaking and grinding of gears as the constructs begin pulling on the chains, and Telwyn, you begin rising upwards. You start slowly rising on like this kind of this rickety elevator shaft going up to the
Okay,
point where you get to this second floor right here.
She quickly shoots out a hand to help Duncan up.
Oh goodness! Oh! He just like, he seems like they're trying to climb up. His like legs are dangling, and he's like wiggling them to try and get up.
All right, so we'll say you're both on this indentation. So you both are basically right here right now, so you should see yourself moved up on the map a little bit.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Be very careful where you step up here. There is a lot of loose floorboards, and I kind of creaked the floorboard a little bit just to show how wobbly it is.
Yeah, as you guys are currently in the center, you can see upwards. It seems like there's 2 more levels to this tower.
Duncan just like rubs his head like it hurts. He's just like, I can't believe this place. After how difficult that door was, you wonder why they'd make an elevator so simple.
I'm gonna grab some of those
First
flasks
bit.
if that's okay.
Okay, so you grab.
Yeah.
They're kind of like there's not really any that are fully intact. There may be like one small one that's intact, but most of them are smashed open. There's like this strange oil liquid that is like kind of seeped through the floor in here.
I want to smell the liquid. What does it smell like?
It smells pretty acrid. It smells like you know the smell of kerosene.
Yeah.
It basically smells like that.
Taste it.
Yeah, I want to taste it.
Oh gosh, I don't know how to describe the taste of this. It tastes awful. Kind of like this strange goop that just like kind of burns your mouth and tongue. Just leaves like this horrible feeling inside your mouth. It's not
Rocky,
gonna damage you or anything, but like it tastes horrible and like with a burning sensation. Kind of like you just licked like
Rocky,
I don't know, like kind of like you licked the top of a battery almost.
okay. Sorry, I'm sorry I keep interrupting. It's like cutting in and out.
Oh, sorry.
Rocky will give a little bit of a nod and give like a thoughtful expression, and then pass it over to Duncan and kind of gesture towards it.
He's handing me the weird liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah, acting like it's good.
So what do you guys want to do?
I was just going to have Telwyn say, I said I would go first, but if you would like me to do that, you probably should wait here because I weigh quite a bit with all this armor.
All right. And like clutching the weird potion that Rocky gave him, he'll like daintily step off onto the wooden floor.
Okay.
Okay, Telwyn will call down to the constructs.
Oh, hold
Up,
on.
please.
Hold on 1 second.
Duncan weighs 110 kilograms.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Hold on 1 second. So as Duncan steps off here, you could hear a... Oh gosh. Okay. Alright.
How does Duncan weigh 200 something pounds?
He's got a lot of armor on and stuff. Or
No,
he's got or a lot of
yeah.
gear, I guess.
I have a longbow. I have a shield. I have like my rolled up pack. I have I have a lot of arrows, a lot of arrows. 80 plus another. Like, he's loaded up. You know. He's not obviously not. He's not overburdened. Like, he's not encumbered, but he looks like he's carrying a lot.
All that together actually probably doesn't add over about 25 pounds to your weight.
I'm just gonna say, if you weigh... Okay, so chiming in here, if you weigh anything over 10 pounds, it's not gonna change anything. The only way to not set this off is if you weigh less than 10 pounds here, as you step off onto this.
Alright.
So as you step off onto this, you feel like a creaking and groaning, and the floor begins to kind of crack a little bit, and you all of a sudden feel a dropping sensation as the floor itself just kind of shatters all around you. Osmond, Duncan, and Rocky, I need you all to make dexterity checks.
Jump on the platform.
Sorry, this is going to be dexterity saves.
24.
To jump onto her.
So Rocky manages to jump onto the platform.
Duncan squeals Duncan squeals very shrill.
Duncan and Osmond, you try and make
to grab them.
I'm going to say you can. I'm gonna rule that this is kind of like out of the blue, and there's a lot of people, so I'm gonna say this is a oh gosh. I'm also gonna make this a dex save, but with disadvantage, just because there's a lot of them all at once.
Can I make a save as well and try to reach for Duncan?
I'm gonna say with this, it's also gonna be a dex save with disadvantage.
I need not roll again because I can't roll worse than a
Yeah.
1.
Okay.
So Rocky, you managed to leap on.
Patrick,
You see, okay.
Can I use a luck die?
Yes, you may.
So I got a 26, an 8, and a 22, and I think I'd like to use the 26, if that's okay.
With disadvantage, though, you can't. You rolled a 7 and an 8,
With
literally.
a luck point, you can choose the dice.
Oh, okay.
I think, does it work with disadvantage like that?
Unless you don't want to do that, because I think so. Let me pull up the exact rules.
Let me just make sure, because I don't think it works with a disadvantage. I think you can roll a second time. You could choose whether to use your disadvantage roll or the new one you did. So, like, I would say either you can use the 8 or the 22.
In any case, with a critical fail, I think Telwood probably just fell off.
Yeah, I'm totally fine doing it either way. I'm just gonna look really quick.
Okay. As far as my rulings gonna go, if it doesn't say anything, different, I'm gonna say it's either the 8 or the 22 that you can use.
Okay, yeah, I'll just use the 22.
Okay. So, as all this is happening, the floor begins to creak. It begins to drop from underneath you. Rocky, you manage to, in a split second, jump over to the side. You could see your compatriots about to fall. Telwyn and Rocky, you both try and reach out at the same time. Rocky, you manage to grab hold of Duncan's arm and heft him up onto the platform. Telwyn, you try and reach out as well, but overstep a little bit and reach your foot out without realizing it and begin falling as well. So Osmond and Telwyn you're gonna both take a little bit of damage here.
Can Osmond, as he's about to fall,
Yes.
can I cast Dimension Door again?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Okay, so if you want to cast Dimension Door, I'm gonna say
I'm about to realizing as it begins to Scooby Doo and the ground begins to crack underneath. Can I Dimension Door?
Yeah, I'm gonna have you make a Dex check to see if you can do it in time.
Okay, just a dexterity check.
I think so. I think this technically would still be a save, maybe. Well,
It's up to you. Do you want to make it a save or a check?
I'll make it a check and have the DC at a little bit lower than I would have if it was a save.
Okay. 12.
Okay, so with a 12, I'm gonna say that you managed to blink in the blink of an eye. You managed to. Which level did you go to? Or
I'm
did
gonna go to the top level.
Okay.
You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna go to the top level.
All right. So you go right up to the top level. Telwyn, I'm gonna say since you already used your action to try and grab somebody, that's your action right there. Because that would be like a second action right on top of that.
Okay.
So Osmond, you managed to dimension door up to the very top of the tower. Rocky manages to grab onto Duncan just in time and heft him up onto the platform. Telwyn, you fall a little bit. You're going to take a total of it's only 20 feet. Like you guys are pretty high level here, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So you take a total of 8 fall damage, and then you take. Hold on. What is this one? Okay. You take a total of 8 bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground, and then as the boards kind of rain down a little bit, you take a further 6 piercing damage from the boards as they kind of hit you like around the head and the sides.
Just for the record, Duncan has his eyes closed and he is clinging to Rocky for dear life, just whimpering into him.
Okay, and then Osmond,
Rocky
you
kind
are
of
up
just
at
like pats your head.
Osmond, you are up at the very top, so I can actually move you way up there. So you should see yourself at the very top of the
Ooh.
map here. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and describe this top room for you. So unlike the levels below, this room actually shows like not total disarray like all the other ones. The whole tower itself smells kind of like mold and mildew, but this up here, it's a little bit more subdued. It's not as bad up here. You can still hear like the clockwork chiming and the clockwork clicking all throughout the tower still, but it seems like there's plenty of like comforts in here, like a bed and a desk with a matching chair. There's bright tapestries along the windows. There's a large iron stove with wood next to it. There's the windows themselves are kind of dirt caked and old, but they seem to be like not broken in or anything like that. There's also what looks like some kind of it looks like a statue at first glance, but you can also see bits of clockwork on it as well. It doesn't seem to be moving clockwork at all. It seems to be completely still and kind of hunched over a little bit. And then you can also see like the rafters, like with the pulley systems all in check up here. And then at the very foot of the bed, there seems to be some kind of ornate chest as well. And then just a little desk next to you as well, like a kind of like a utility bench.
Sweet.
And so, Telwyn, as you're on the bottom, you're kind of cursing in Elvish as you get up, casting Cure Wounds. If you want to go ahead and roll the cures for that and use the spell slot for that. So what does everybody else want to do in this instance? Osmond, you're currently up at the very top of the tower. Rocky and Duncan, you're on the second level of the tower. Telwyn, you're down on the first level.
Where exactly are we on the second level? Like, are we like hanging onto something, or
You
like,
guys are currently on the platform in the center.
Oh, okay, okay.
So the floor is pretty much all but destroyed in this room. It's all fallen in. It doesn't look like anywhere safe to step on what's left of this floor over here.
Can Helen climb the chains using athletics?
Dear goodness, no, just we'll bring the elevator down. Don't climb.
Okay, so you say the down command, and the platform lowers down till you get to Telwyn's level. You could just see her just standing there. The constructs in the bottom are just like looking at you all expectantly still.
I apologize for that. You wouldn't know what to look at me, but I was quite a lithe man in my youth.
Rocky will just smile into your head.
Get your hand away from me. He's kind of obviously embarrassed.
Rocky just gives a little thumbs up and chills on his platform.
Like he's like Duncan's a really thin guy, so anything like that happens, it just like really goes to his head.
All right. So what do y'all want to do here now? The statues are still like the constructs are still just waiting at you expectingly, like they're just like waiting for another command.
I guess we'll go up.
As
Okay.
soon as tone is on, Rocky says, "Up, please," in Tobin's voice.
Okay, so you go up. They raise you up one level to the second level again. You can see like pretty much most of the floor is missing. It just looks like anywhere you would step on this level now would just like cause further decay to the tower.
We'll just, I guess, we'll hold on for dear life as we get transported up to the level that Osmond's on.
Okay, so you just continue saying the up command until you get to the very top of the tower. So I'll go ahead and move you guys all up there. Okay, so at this point now everybody has gotten to the very top of the tower. Osmond, what are you doing up here while everybody gets lifted up through here?
Osman is just going to. I'm looking for fantasy blueprints. I'm going to nod and tip my hat to the construct that is deactivated or whatever and say, "Pardon me, sir," and I'm going to start looking for fantasy blueprints.
Okay, go ahead and roll an investigation check. Are you just at this desk over here? Or are you like
Yeah.
searching the whole room as a whole?
This is just kind of collective. The room, I'd start at the desk, and then I just kind of work my way clockwise around the room.
Okay. You could see what looks like on the desk itself looks like blueprints and diagrams of what looks like how to it's for constructing constructs, but constructs of kind of a clockwork nature. You can see gears, designs for like how to shape the gears and how to get them working properly, how they have to be constantly lubricated, and how to put the spark of life into the constructs themselves. You can see kind of detailings of how if one were to put the construct together and if one were able to harness, it looks like someone harnessed elementals and put them inside of constructs in order to get them to move. It seems like whoever was working on these constructs here in these blueprints and diagrams was taking they were taking basically steam elementals and capturing their spirits themselves, capturing the steam elementals and putting them inside of constructs to get them to work. But it looks like most of everything on this desk is related to building clockwork constructions.
This is bloody brilliant. I mean, horrible, but I've never quite seen anything like this. And actually, can Duncan, since he has a proficiency with tinkering tools and stuff like that, would I be able to like recognize any similarity between this and that dude in the village who made Simon?
Yeah, probably. If you look at this and you want to make like, oh gosh, what's a good check for like clockwork stuff? That'd be more like
Just straight intelligence?
that's what I'm thinking, because I can't think of like specific things on here because it's like straight
Yeah,
up.
how to build.
This is like straight
Like
up like this is like straight up technology here.
Well, I do have proficiency with tinker's tools, so
Yeah.
maybe that
So
would
it's
be the test with int.
yeah. So I would say make an intelligence check.
Intelligence and Tinker's tools combined, maybe?
You can add your proficiency with this since you're with intel. So intelligence, go ahead and add your proficiency as well. Is that with?
I mean, I'm proficient with it, so yeah, it's with a +3.
Okay. So with a 6, this is way beyond anything that you've ever encountered. It seems to be even way beyond what the toy shop was able to, Blinsky. This is like leagues and leagues beyond where technology is right now in the world. It's on like levels of like highest intelligence, even creating these kind of things. Like think about like our world. This is like on like Stephen Hawking level compared to like the rest of humanity kind of things. This is like some Elon Musk stuff right here.
I recognize these symbols, and I feel like I should know what this is, but this is just beyond me. I've never seen anything quite like this.
To you, this is like one of the most fascinating things like you've ever seen. Like nobody that you know of has been able to achieve like technology quite like this from that you've ever encountered.
I would very much like to take this. Duncan would very much like to take this.
Okay, so you take some of these blueprints for construct creation.
All right.
Okay,
I
and then
like it.
Osman, as you sweep the room, does anybody else want to do some investigating with him? So we could
Yes,
say like a
please.
collective investigation check for you all.
Yes.
Okay.
I did pretty good. So,
So I'm
I
gonna
mean,
keep your 19 because that's a really good investigation check.
yeah, especially for me, +0. Ugh.
Yeah, like it's not gonna get much higher than that unless you roll in that
Nope.
20.
Yep.
I'm gonna use a luck point too.
Okay, you can go for it. So this is your second luck point for today?
Yeah.
Okay.
15.
Okay. So 19 with Osmond, 15 with Rocky. Telman, if you want to roll an investigation check too, that's a 23.
I beat him.
That's you guys
He
scout.
can help me.
You guys scour this place. So, you actually notice. Okay, so let me see what all is all in here, because with that roll, I think you guys pretty much find most everything up here. Okay, so the first thing that stands out is that it seems like somebody has been up here recently. There seems to be someone has like scoured through notes on this table on like the southeastern side. It looks like somebody was putting together research notes. There seems to be notes altogether on like things that you might be able to find, like things that you could harness inside maybe the Amber Temple, or where also to find and locate elementals in order to harness and put them inside of constructs. It seems like somebody was like meticulously mapping ways to pull these elementals into this plane of existence and trap them here. Someone went through elaborate things. It's extremely high level magic in order to do this kind of thing. You also notice that somebody has recently fed the fireplace. It looks like there's some ashy remains inside the fireplace itself, like somebody was burning logs in there. And at the foot of the bed, you notice there's kind of this ornate chest. And it looks like it had a lock on the chest, but somebody busted the lock. The chest is currently closed, but it looks like whoever was here recently might have busted the lock open on the chest. That's the one that probably stands out most with a 23.
But the chest is shut. It's just not locked.
Yeah, the chest is currently shut. It just is not currently locked.
Osmond is going to raise a mage hand slightly. He's just going to whisper into the banjo, and he's just going to produce a small silvery hand that will lift the chest, so I don't have to.
Okay, so you lift up the chest, and inside you see, you can see what looks like pieces of coins inside the chest. It looks like there's a few like silver pieces and a few gold pieces inside the chest, and laying on top of these coins is a skull. And the skull itself looks normal enough, except that one of the eyes has a gemstone attached into the eye itself. Hold on one second, I might have a picture of it.
The chest.
Well, anyway, the skull itself, yeah, has like this black gemstone in the right eye itself. The skull is fully intact, and it's just lying on this pile of bones. Or, sorry, not bones. Not on bones. It's lying on a pile of coins.
Osmond is going to pick up the skull and then hold it in his little halfling hands and go, "Hey, there's a bunch of coins in here."
And as you lift up the skull and say, "Hey, there's a bunch of coins in here," you just hear the skull just kind of like, you feel it rattling in your hand, and you notice the head is like, the mouth is like opening, but like since you're holding it, the head's like kind of bobbing up and down. It's like, "Yeah, of course there's coins in here. That's my bed."
Oh, pardon me, sir. I didn't know that you were using this bed.
"Yes, it's my bed. That's what I sleep on at night.
Ah,
And during the day and all of eternity."
Where did you keep your blueprints for the castle?
"I'm sorry, who said that?" And he's he can't really move because he's a skull, and so you see the gem kind of like trying to move inside the socket, and you can see it like has a small range of movement. And it starts pinpointing, and it pinpoints on you, Telwyn. "Ah, you with the face paint and the armor. You talked." "I'm not following. Blueprints on the castle?"
I think you might be cutting out.
Yeah,
maybe?
I can't hear what you're saying.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could. I don't know if you're still talking now.
Why is everybody's internet so janked tonight?
I
You
don't-
guys have storms rolling through?
Yeah.
Like-
Legitimately, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I can give up using the headset.
How am I holding up? I've never heard anybody say anything about me yet.
Your
You're good.
mic has been coming through loud and clear, Chandler.
Cool. Well, that's good to know.
And I live in Canada, and our weather pattern is coming in tomorrow and the next day, so, I'm golden.
Okay.
Okay, let me try it again. Telwyn says, you designed Strahd's castle, did you not?
The eye kind of like centers on you once more, Telwyn. It looks like he's trying to like gather thoughts. I did do that, didn't I? Yes, I did. And so he kind of yawns a little bit. You see the head just kind of, the top half of the head just kind of raise, and you hear this loud yawning noise come from the skull.
So you are the wizard who owns this tower?
I designed this
now,
tower,
if I'm
yes.
not mistaken.
Can I ask you a serious question?
I suppose so. What's the question?
What do you have against a normal lock and key? Why does it have to be some cryptic button system?
Just in case I forgot what the password was. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I'm very forgetful these days. I don't quite remember things the way I used to. Actually, I never was that way. I'm very forgetful.
What happened
who
to
are
you?
you?
Why are you a skull?
That's kind of
He's a
a...
lich now,
That's...
if I'm not mistaken.
Excuse me, that's quite rude to call someone that.
Well, don't become one and people won't call you one.
Rocky kind of steps forward and reaches for the skull, trying to grab it, like gently, not like take it from you.
Well,
Just kinda look.
let's ask Mr. Skull if he'd like to leave my grasp, and I turn him around so he kind of faces me, and I go, all right, Mr. Skull, my bird friend would like to see you quickly. Are you okay with this? Is this consensual?
I suppose so. I do have a request. Can you just move me about the room? I actually have not moved in about a few centuries now.
Oh, sure, stretch out them old bones of yours. Why not? I
Well-
completely understand.
Well, I mean, the only bones I have are this head, but, you know. I can't really move. I'm a skull.
I completely understand, and I envy you.
Not quite sure why, but okay.
I hand it to Rocky.
So,
Rocky picks it up and flips it upside down and like looks into its eye with his own, kind of clockwise.
are you looking into the gem eye or the hollow eye?
The gem eye?
Okay. You kind of see yourself reflected back in like the dark. It's very, very smooth. It's a very polished gemstone. Lots of many faceted cuts. I actually have a picture of it right here. So here.
Okay.
So yeah, basically you know this to be Viskopa, the architect behind Strahd's castle and the architect behind this tower here. And also it seems an architect of clockworks.
He's gonna peck just like gently at the skull and just see if it's hollow.
Oh gosh, I do not like this again. Can you please give me back to your small friend there? Small person, can you do something about this? You peck on it and you do feel that
Rocky.
it is quite hollow inside.
Rocky clutches it to its chest, and then sets the skull man on his shoulder, looking out so that he can see what Rocky sees, and kind of pats his head.
Okay, I suppose this is fine. Just please don't peck me.
Be very careful with our skull friend. He is very delicate,
It's a-
but I do appreciate the sentiment.
It's quite painful. I'm sorry. Yes, well, I suppose I could do you a favor as long as you just move me about a little bit. I've been locked inside that chest for who knows how long. The last person that came through here just kind of left me inside. They didn't want anything to do with me, it seems.
Rocky nods and kind of taps your head on his shoulder, and never mind, I can't have that idea. And then just kind of walks around a little bit and just like man stuff, just doing a brief investigation of everything.
Speaking of investigations, I don't know if you noticed, but I wrote in that while they're taking the skull for a walk, Telwyn goes through the trunk looking for blueprints.
Okay. I don't always see that just because I'm usually on like the documents and like the music section tabs. So
Right.
I don't always see that. But yeah, if you want to go through there, it doesn't look like there's any blueprints of any kind. You just see there's a total of about, I think there's like 100 gold coins and like 50 silver coins in here.
Listen, okay, about that money. Now, I know that we normally split it up evenly, but since I was, electrocuted by this devilish tower, and the traps therein, and almost crashed through the floor and fell and died, I think it might be fair if I take the full portion. Anyone disagree?
I do. The skull just kind of chimes in.
Well, frankly, you're a skull. What are you going to do with the money?
Sleep on it. It's my bed.
But what if
I
we...
fell off the platform. And in any case, we're here for blueprints. And Telwyn looks at the skull. Where are the stinking blueprints?
So, if you're referring to blueprints, the only thing I've ever blueprinted itself manually, physically, are my constructs. The knowledge of the castle is all, well, up here, and the gem just kind of like shifts upwards, like it's trying to like look up through the top of its own skull inside, and doesn't quite make it all the way.
Oh, bloody hell. Alright.
Yes, Strahd was very adamant that nothing was ever copied down onto actual physical paper itself. He was very adamant about that, but my mind, while slightly forgetful sometimes, is very, very brilliant.
So I suppose the only way that we can ensure that we get all this information is to take you with us, then.
Oh, that would be quite agreeable. Let me ask something of you. You're planning to go to the castle, yes?
Eventually, I suppose. Sooner, maybe, than later.
This may be a
We
bit...
have to go to the castle immediately. There is a young girl in great danger.
Excellent.
And I need to know, how do we know we can trust you?
Well, you don't really know if you can trust me, that's the thing. But I do have a bit of a presumptuous request, as it were. See, you have a need to go to the castle, and you also have a need to know the way around the castle. I happen to know the way around the castle. I also have something I need in the castle. I believe we could be mutually beneficial to each other.
I am on board. What is this thing you're looking for, friend?
Know this. If you betray us, I will have the opportunity to come back, and I will destroy you.
Yes.
Telwyn, this is not how you make friends. I'm just going to clarify that
I
right
have
now.
no interest in making friends with a lich.
Once again, I'm going to say that's very rude. Actually, being a lich would actually be better than just a skull. I wouldn't mind being a lich because I would have a body. But that's actually what I kind of want. You see, towards the waning years of when I was, I guess, not proving as useful as Strahd wanted, he's kind of removed my head from my body and put it inside this chest here. And, well, time wore on. My son...
My little bony friend, I am a holy warrior. I serve 2 deities currently, and I'm not going to be allowed, much less willing, to assist you in becoming a lich. So, if there is something else you want, perhaps we could make a deal. But that's out of the question.
So, here's where I think we might have made a miscommunication. I said being a lich would be more preferable to being just a skull, but what I really want is my body back. You see, I was an archmage of the highest degree, and, well, when I stopped proving my usefulness to Strahd, he kind of cut my head off and took my spell book, put it away somewhere. That's another thing we need. I need my spell book. That would be very, very good. And then I could go on continuing my work. You see, I have very many interesting projects. You might have seen some of them downstairs a little bit. This guy over here, Keldon. Keldon, oh dear, he's fallen into disarray as well. I have to fix that immediately. I need to get back to my work. Must finish my research. Must finish my projects. I need my body.
Right. I suppose that's
Rocky shrugs.
an agreement that I can make. We will try to help you with that, but you have to give us accurate directions around the castle.
That I could do very well. Here's the thing, sometimes the castle changes. I kind of designed it that way. It kind of moves around a little bit sometimes, but I think I remember most of the movements it makes. Depends on where you need to go. Do you know where you need to go inside the castle? I know where I need to go, but I'm assuming you have a certain place that you want.
Simply have to find the young girl and get her out.
So I'm assuming Strahd has taken a new lover.
Not if I can help it.
Well, if anything, there could be a couple places that she could be. She could be in the dungeons currently. Sometimes he uses that for breaking people in, but I don't think if he's trying to romance someone, he's probably taken her up to the guest chambers upstairs.
It's rather forward. It's rather forward if you ask me.
What, him taking her upstairs to the guest chambers?
I mean, I suppose.
He's done this a few times before. He has very many brides, and that's usually the kind of standard thing he does. I mean, he has husbands too, but mostly brides.
This one is very different.
Wait, what was that?
Rocky pulls out his dream book and thinks about the vision of Arena
Oh, okay.
and shows Skullfriend.
Oh, I know that chamber. Yes. That's very, very close to the guest chambers. That's the hallways, if I'm not mistaken. You can see the eye just kind of like, the one eye just kind of moving back and forth, shifting, trying to like take in every single detail from the book itself. This is a fascinating book. Where did you get this?
I will say Desna's name in Desna's voice.
The dream goddess. Very fascinating. I haven't dabbled in religion very much, but I appreciate what she does.
Rocky
I hear she was
nods
all the
deeply.
rage for some time.
I have a question about the skull.
Okay.
Is there a small notch where the spine connects to it?
There's like a hole where the spine should actually connect to. It's a full human-sized skull.
Perfect. I'm gonna pull out my traveler staff and stick his head on the top of it.
Oh, this is quite interesting. I feel
Is that comfortable?
It kind of feels a little bit like a torso.
Rocky gives him a creepy, kinky smile and pats his head.
Only problem is I still can't move myself, unfortunately. I really wish I had a real body.
We'll do our best to get one for you. You and I have some things to discuss.
My body is probably sealed somewhere in the crypts down below. So, tell you what, I help you find your fair lass, your dame, and you help me find my body. I think from there I could probably find the spell book on my own. I might have to kill Strahd, but, you know, we'll take it as time goes.
Yeah, we'll see how things go.
We certainly can make an alliance.
Certainly, as long as I get my body back. That's the most important thing. Get the body back, get my spell book back. Maybe kill Strahd, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. He did cut my head off and lock me inside of a box for a few centuries. That I'm kind of irked about, but I mostly want to get back to working on my constructs here.
So, since this is
Help
the
us
case...
find the girl and get her out of the castle, and that is all we require. Shall we be going, gentlemen? There is not time to waste.
Well, there is the matter of the gold. Since it will no longer be your place of rest, might we put it to better use?
I'll tell you what. if we find my body and I get it attached, you are more than welcome to come back here and take the gold. If we don't find the body, if something has happened to it, maybe Strahd destroyed it, maybe, I don't know. It's been a few centuries, it might have decayed a lot. I don't know. I really hope there's still flesh on it. That would be ideal. But if it doesn't turn to work out, I might want my bed back of gold. It's very comfy.
I see. Well, let us make our way down the tower, and I'm gonna like cast a look over to Rocky to get him to like turn the skull away.
Rocky does that.
Where are you turning me? What?
I think. Well, Osmond's just gonna look. How much money is in this, relatively?
Quiet yourself.
It's about 100 gold coins and 50 silver.
100 gold coins and 50 silver?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to turn back to our skull friend. And I'm gonna go, look, so you like this money because it's comfortable to sleep on, correct?
Oh yes, for a skull, that is. I don't know if a human body could lay on it comfortably, but...
Oh, well, I mean, let me just feast you onto this. And I take him off of his little pike.
Oh, okay.
And I open up my bag, and I have 500 gold pieces in my bag. I'm gonna let him just sit in the bag and just go, so how does this feel?
Oh my. This is like a lot more than I'm used to laying on.
And then I'm going to look to Duncan, and I'm just gonna shoot him a nod.
You are steadily becoming my favorite, little man. If you keep your head on your shoulders, and you keep your tongue glib and quick, then I think we can work together quite well.
See, this was all just a big complicated mess that was really just simple in the long run. We all are just here on the same side, mutually beneficiating each other. Nobody's a lich, nobody's calling each other out on stuff. We're all good.
Yes, we're all good. And he's like not even paying attention. He's just like scooping the gold into his like little pouch. And then he
That's all
just
very well and everything, but Arena is in danger.
Yes.
Can we please be going?
Certainly.
I suppose so. All right, little man. You're gonna teach me some numbers, and I step on the platform.
Oh, I'm gonna teach you numbers?
Yeah, I kind of want to know what numbers mean. I know what numbers are, but I want to know what numbers like mean. I was reading up on all those blueprints, and I couldn't quite figure out what the purpose was.
Oh, it's quite simple. You see, and he's just like starts going into the nuances of crafting like the gears and like the roots and like how to get like how to attach like the spirits in like how to attach the elementals in like the proper way, how to fuse them in, how to lock them inside as you guys head down the very bottom to the very bottom of the tower.
Osmond
It's like
will listen attentively.
It's extremely complicated, but he's just like going through a rapid pace, like it's like second nature to him almost.
Yeah,
Is it
Osmond's
possible
got like 8
Helen can
intelligence.
retrieve her crossbow bolt?
It's probably gonna like if you have something to grab it. So like from the floor here, the roof where it's attached to is 20 feet up from this top floor. So like from where you're standing out on the floor, the ceiling itself goes like 20 feet upwards. But if you have a way of getting to it, I would say yeah.
Never mind. Okay.
Okay, so as you guys get to the very bottom, he's just still rattling on. Yes, it's quite simple, but people can't seem to quite get the grasp of it, and I don't know why.
I understand completely. People can be difficult sometimes.
Yes. You see, my mind just races, and other people, their minds, they just don't quite work as fast. I think I don't quite know how to explain it. People are rather slow, I think.
Now, Osmond has an intelligence of 8, but I'm gonna act like a dad who doesn't get it, but is just fully trying to understand, like trying to grasp the concept. I'm like a grandpa with a cell phone, basically.
Do you want to roll an intelligence check to see if like
I
this
would
is
very
sticking?
much like to see if anything is like actually obtained.
Okay.
Wow.
Ah,
Perfectly average.
10 is, yeah, just pretty much average. It seems interesting. It's very hard to follow. It's like trying to read up on, like, advanced rocket science with having just, like, middle school knowledge.
I'm just gonna ask him to maybe start a little bit slower, but that I am fully on board.
And I'll move everybody down once more.
Well, one mystery still remains here. Who does this
Only
cart belong?
one?
Who does this cart belong to?
Don't ask me, it's not mine. Could you maybe lift me out so I can see it? Do you still have him inside the bag, or...
Yeah, I'll move him out of the bag.
Okay.
I'll just kind of hold him up to my chest whenever we need to.
Never seen it before in my life, but it might belong to the woman that was here not too long ago.
The woman.
Yeah, there was some woman that was here a few days ago. She talked to me, immediately saw I was a talking skull, and said, "You don't seem very trustworthy," put me back inside the chest, and just kind of left. She was asking about... she was just asking if anybody had come here recently. She was asking a little bit about the castle, too. She had no intention of returning me to my body. She said it didn't seem like a good idea.
Can you describe her?
Very tall, very beautiful, a little bit, forgive the crass term, she was a little bit busty, I guess. She had long curly black hair. She had a strange leg. That I remember. It was a very fascinating leg, actually. I wanted to research it a little bit. Maybe that offended her. I asked her what her leg was made of and if it tingled when the gears clicked inside her leg.
A clockwork leg, you say?
Yes. Was that a rude thing to ask?
Perhaps to some people.
Okay. I didn't mean anything by it. I just wanted to study her leg is all. I asked if I could study her leg. That seems like a perfectly reasonable thing to ask.
I can see how a woman would take that the wrong way. It might be considered rather sexual in some regards.
I fail to see how "can I take a look at your gears" would be interpreted wrongly.
Right. And that is why you are a wizard
Explain
who is
that
now a
to you
skull.
that I don't think that I will.
Okay. Well, I think I was being perfectly reasonable. Maybe she's a bit rash. Anyway, she was asking around for things about the castle, if I'd seen some fellow by the name of Van Richten or something or other like that. I said no, never have, but I could show her around the castle if she would let me look at her leg. And then that's where she didn't really have any of that and put me back inside the box, and I said, "No, don't put me back inside the box, I can't get out, I'm a skull."
Alright. Be quiet. Be quiet.
I'm
Right,
sorry,
we're going to
sometimes I don't
discuss-
know when to stop talking.
We are going to discuss ground rules right here at this moment. We are taking you with us. You are partner now in this adventure.
Yes.
You will take us to the castle. But that is where it ends. There are things that we will face that we will
So, if anybody happens to be watching this stream right now, Talwyn just said that she took up a piece of blanket, ripped it up, and put it inside her ears.
Okay.
Owen has had enough of Mr. Skull.
There will be times when silence and stealth is absolutely necessary for the things that we do. And I
What?
cannot have you I'm not talking to you. Goodness. There will be times when stealth is absolutely necessary, and we cannot have you jawing and jabbering with your strange skull chatter. So, do your best.
Sorry?
When you're inside the bag, just talk inside your own head. You know, you don't need to talk to us.
Oh, okay. So you'll
I don't understand a word you're saying.
so you'll tell me when to speak.
I don't want to be insensitive to you, but just to try to be a little bit more cautious
I
with your
hand
words.
gestures?
Okay, Duncan's gonna have wave a dismissive hand at Telwyn.
Oh, hello. Has a Mautan joined our server? I think Mautan has
Potentially.
joined in. He's finally home.
Here, finally. My computer was being a bitch.
Oh, that's
Oh.
okay. Okay, so does anybody want to recap Mautan on what has been happening?
I can
Absolutely.
right now. Osmond's gonna run up and go, Mautan, I got a talking skull. He's my best friend.
Uh,
And I
What?
pull out the talking skull.
Hello. Oh, you're another bird. Nice to
This
meet
is
you.
Mautan. He's my other bird friend. He's the one that talks more. But
Hello,
I
what is-
appreciate him equally.
does the skull have a name?
Yes, Viskopa. Nice to meet you.
Viskopa. That's fun.
Viskopa.
Where did we find Viskopa?
In his room, upstairs.
Oh, I'm sorry, I blacked out for a minute. Did we get inside
No,
the
you were
tower?
meditating. It was
Oh.
all right, perfectly fine. Happens.
Yeah, we've just had you meditating by this wagon over here.
You seem too focused. I didn't want to interrupt you.
That sounds like me.
Yes, well, very nice to meet you. So,
Mm.
I am very excited about the prospect of getting my body back, so what other rules do we have before we go into the castle? I know you don't want me to talk as much, so I will
Did you
try.
lose your body?
Yes, well, you see, I explained to them earlier, Strahd kind of got fed up with me. I don't know why he would get fed up with me. I can't really see why. Maybe I just wasn't producing enough usefulness to him with my research and my projects, but he kind of removed my head from my body and sealed.
Do you remember what I told you about speaking?
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll stop talking now. He asked me a
Yes.
question, so I just thought it would be best to maybe say something about it.
Yes, I understand that, but it doesn't need your life story. Just something quick and concise, alright? I know it's difficult for a wizard, especially one as strange as yourself, but please try for our sake.
Yeah,
Can we climb into the cart and be going now? Irina may not have much time.
Yes, I think time's up. I apologize. I will
And
try.
Helen climbs up into the cart without waiting for an answer because she can't hear anybody anyway.
Thanks. I don't think she really likes me again. Once again, I apologize. I just haven't had anybody to talk to in the last few centuries. The words just kind of spill out.
Would you please put him in the bag? Please.
But I find him so interesting.
All right, Viskopa, you can go back in the bag.
Oh, okay. That's the key word for quiet, isn't it?
Well, no, it's fine. We can just talk later. You understand?
Yes. So when we get to the castle, no talking unless I am giving you instructions. Oh, one thing I also should mention about the castle. I don't really know what creatures are roaming about nowadays. Strahd likes to keep various creatures inside the castle. He's had zombies, he's had vampires, he's had little skeletons, all kinds of fancy little creatures that are quite fascinating. I don't know all of them, but I can tell you about maybe where to watch your step and things like that, and give you a general guide through the castle. I'm just warning you here on out. I don't know every single creature he might have.
Well, we'll rely on your information when the need presents itself. Anything that you could tell us would be valuable should the need arise.
Yes, sounds very good to me. And so, as you guys are moving forward,
Hold on.
the thunderstorm is still going on overhead.
Ooh, I don't like that.
But Telwyn is now beckoning impatiently from the wagon, trying to get you guys to come along.
Duncan's quickly going to pull Osmond aside and bring him towards the back of the other wagon that was left behind there. Don't take this the wrong way, but you have a rather swarthy and rakish look about you. I don't suppose you have any knowledge in breaking and entering, do you?
Let's see. Normally, I just ask very nicely, and people usually, I don't know, seem a bit intimidated by me. They usually just give me whatever I want, honestly. So I usually go in through the front door. I am pretty good about not being seen, though. So if you're asking for some, getting into high places, getting into small places, I definitely can help you out there.
Well, this might qualify. You see, someone has carelessly left this perfectly fine cart here unguarded. Now, there is a sign on the back that says keep out, and I did investigate before and did see some kind of trap mechanism, potentially, on the lock. But I would very much like to see what's inside. I think it would be important for us. And I was wondering if you perhaps had any idea of how to disarm this trap?
If you're asking if I have any specialized tools for that, I cannot say that I do, unfortunately. I could look for any sort of loose board to squeeze my way through and then try the lock from the back side, however.
Well, unfortunately, I have looked over the cart, and it does seem rather sturdily built.
Airtight. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Well, it seems as though I will be forced to do the dirty work. Duncan will go up to the back of the cart and kneel down in front of the lock.
Yeah. If anybody else wants to try investigating another way, and you can, though, because you did 2 investigations, one to investigate the cart itself, and a single investigation on the lock itself.
I mean, I'll check, just because I haven't before.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, just what I thought.
Doesn't seem like anything really stands out about the cart. I mean, it's got like the sign that says "keep out" on like the door itself. The windows to the cart are kind of like tombstone shaped, but they've got like little red curtains over them, making it hard to see inside the cart itself. There's like a little lantern hanging from the side of it. It's currently unlit. Strangely, there's like a tether to hook up horses to it, but no horses hooked up to the cart.
Duncan will kneel down and, like, he doesn't have lockpicking tools, but he has tinker tools. So he'll roll out his little thing of tinker tools and, like, pull out something sharp and attempt to cut the wire that's holding the that he thinks might be trapping the lock.
Okay. With tinker tools and stuff, I'm gonna say this would normally be a sleight of hand check. I'm gonna say make a sleight of hand check, but with tinker tools, I'll let you, since you don't have a rogue in the party anymore, I'll say with the tinker tools, go ahead and add your proficiency to it with a sleight of hand check.
Alright, I don't know how to add. Well, I already. Okay, add proficiency.
Okay, so as you get your tools and you try and fiddle with the rope, or like the little wire inside the cart, you hear it kind of snap, and you hear something drop inside the wagon itself, like a loud thud. And
well, that can be good.
You could see a little bit of a glow coming from the windows inside the cart, and all of a sudden, you just hear this loud bang, and all of a sudden, you see fire erupt from the cart itself, and a barrel of force hits you. I need God. I need everybody within 30 feet of the wagon. I think Molly's the only one that's not 30 feet within 30 feet of the wagon right now. Everybody needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
What's a 7
What
get me?
is with my saving throws tonight? Oh my gosh.
So 11 from Duncan, 7 from Mountam, 14 from Osmond. Is Rocky still here?
I think Rocky is here, but Kyle isn't.
Okay. I'll go ahead and fade him out for right now, because I know he's been having a lot of internet problems tonight, and he's just like been cutting in and out the whole time, and that's not kind of fair for him to just force him into this if he didn't want to be next to the cart. So we'll go with, yeah, we'll say Rocky's with you, Molly, right now. Telwyn, sorry. So 11, 7, and 14. Okay.
Was a Constitution saving throw, right?
Yeah, that was a Constitution saving throw. All right.
Not a dexterity?
No, strangely enough, it's a Constitution saving throw, because this is just like a heat wave blast hitting you right now, because there's not really much dodging it. It's just like how well you can withstand this blast.
Mm-hmm.
So this is gonna be, oh gosh, hold on, this is a lot of dice.
Oh, rest in peace.
I'm ready. Bring it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So as this blast hits you, Mountain and Duncan, you both take 64 fire damage.
I'm down.
Osmond, you take a total of 32 fire damage.
I'm not down.
As you just Telwyn, you just hear this loud bang, and you can just see this like little mini cloud, mushroom cloud almost, it just come from this card, and you can see Mountain and Duncan just like thrown backwards, and Osmond just like kind of like avoids most of the brunt of the damage, but you can see him like singed, and kind of his skin just like goes all
I basically
black.
just kind of turn around beforehand and let my coat take most of the hit.
Yeah. You're still completely
leaning,
covered with like
I'm leaning
char.
very close, very attentive, and trying to figure out what Duncan's trying to do.
Oh, you're not down?
I was probably
No, I
actually
was.
about to like take a rolled stick of flay leaf, and I was about to smoke it just because this is like tedious. Until there was this big ol' explosion, basically behind me.
Yeah. So as Osman is like turning around, he's lighting his at the second like he lights his cigarette, his little cigarette. You just the second you light the cigarette, this blast hits you in the back, and you're like, oh god, what was that? Mountan is just
That'll
like
cure you of smoking.
Mountan just like leans in to see what Duncan's doing as he's trying to cut this little wire when both of you just get blasted right in the face, basically. So, Osmond, you turn around, you just see like the smoking crater where the cart used to be. Duncan and Mountain are just lying on the ground, completely charred. They're just charred and like smoke coming off them.
Is Duncan cautious or not?
No, we're both down.
Oh god.
Okay. Did Telwyn see this even though she can't hear it?
Oh,
Yeah,
I should have heard it.
you can see even through the earplugs. You can hear this. This is loud. Like
And
you can hear this.
smell it.
You can
Okay.
hear. This is like the kind of
You
thing you
can
can hear
smell
from like.
burning
Patrick,
bird.
your microphone's echoing a lot.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
actually echoing a lot.
Yours is too, Chandler.
I think that's because Molly's not using the headset because she's been having trouble
Oh,
with
it's
the
because
headset.
she's hearing us. Yeah. It's us hearing ourselves, basically.
Okay.
Do you-
Telwyn jumps down from the cart and comes at a run. Slaps one hand on Duncan and the other hand on Mountan. And does lay on hands on both of them simultaneously if possible.
Okay, how much do you want to give to each?
This is to make sure that they don't die, so 10 each.
Okay. Also, Molly, can I ask possibly do you know how to like set your mumble to push to talk?
I thought I had it set that way. Sorry.
Do I have to make any death saving throws?
In this time, I'm gonna say that she's gonna probably get to you in time, like, because at most by the time she gets to you, you only be rolling like one death save, and that's even if you fail it, that's 2 death saves. It's not gonna be enough to fully kill you by the time she gets to you. So like, there's not like you can roll it if you want to be curious about it, but I'm saying like,
I was curious.
yeah.
I was hoping for a nat one. I'm feeling frisky tonight.
Okay, you each get 10 hit points back, and then she will do cure wounds on each of you.
All right. What level do you want to do cure wounds on both of them?
I'll give them each a 3rd level.
Blowing 2 3rd levels on them. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened.
That was fun.
The description for this trap is written as Chekhov's gun.
Do you want 2 separate rolls or just same thing for
Yeah,
both? Or what?
two separate rolls, because one is for, who is this one going to be for?
I guess Duncan, he's first alphabetically.
Okay, so 20 hit points back. So 10, in addition to the 10 from lay on hands, another 20, so that's 30 hit points back to you, Duncan.
Oh, great.
And then, so for you, Rocky, that's 29 hit points back.
Or Mountain.
Or Mountain,
Mountain.
Sorry.
My eyes will just shoot back open and I'll go, oh.
Okay,
Ouch.
how are you both doing now?
What?
Duncan just,
I'm deaf.
Duncan just curls up on the ground in the fetal position and just says, I miss Altheo.
You hear from inside the bag, what was that loud bang?
Oh, am I deaf? What the heck? Did that whole cart just explode?
Yeah, I would say everybody's ears are probably ringing except for Telwyn's, just because she actually had protection in her ears.
Do I have ears?
They're like little.
You got your ear
they're like,
holes?
they're like little.
Shatter.
They're like little ear holes for birds. So yeah, your ears are probably. Everybody's ears are like ringing heavily. It's like you got like tinnitus right now.
Oof.
You're just like Baby Driver right now. Just constantly have that ringing.
This doesn't count as a charm or frighten, that I can just end.
It is not a charm or frightened. No.
I look at the banjo. How's it doing?
The banjo looks unharmed completely.
I whisper to the banjo. How are you feeling? That was pretty wild.
Sorry, didn't notice anything.
Oh, have you met my new friend, Mr. Skull? He's got a name. I forgot it. I can't. A lot just happened.
Are you like leaning your banjo over to see the skull?
Yes, I'm showing the face of the banjo to the skull.
Oh my. Who is this?
This
That's
is my
the skull
banjo.
talking.
This is my banjo. He has a name, but I don't think he's told me it recently, and I am quite forgetful.
The name's not important. The banjo just says to you in your head.
This is Banjo.
Nice. The skull just seems curious. Nice to meet you. I guess I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. Are you a bard?
Something like that.
Fascinating. I've never met a bard before. Can you sing?
I can sing. It's all right.
You should
This
sing a
is this-
song while we travel.
Oh, I would love to. It's been a while since I've loosened up the pipes, but
Yes, well, it's been about 300 years since I've heard music last, so, you know, anything will do.
I think I have my banjo's name. I just need to look for it.
Yeah. And me being completely honest, I don't remember it either.
19 more points back for Duncan.
Okay. So Telwyn spends another that's your last third level, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
Now I'm going to work on the other two with second level slots.
Oh, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me.
Found it.
Okay, Mount 10 gets back 15.
Okay, let's just go.
I
Please.
didn't consent to that.
Fine if you don't want it.
It's all right, man. We'll just use hit dice in the cart on the way back.
Yeah, we got.
Osmond,
Let's
would
do
you
it.
like to be healed or would you feel molested?
I'm feeling fine right now. I mean, that was quite exciting, and honestly, I kind of felt my heart skip a beat a few times. I'm also pretty
What?
sure I can't feel the entire backside of my body, but
What?
besides that, I'm doing good.
What?
Do you still have the cloth in your ears?
Yes. Yes, she still has the cloth in her ears.
I'm just gonna turn around with my small entourage of talking items and just cast healing word on myself, I guess, at second level.
Okay.
All right, I'm piling into the back of the cart and like finding
Is the
a
cart
comfortable.
okay?
Your
Oh my
guys' cart.
God, I thought the cart was like done. I thought it was like chunks.
This is
Yeah,
this was
yeah.
this was the second cart that was just like strangely parked outside the tower.
Oh,
Your
okay,
guys'
okay.
cart was parked far enough away where it like actually missed the damage from this.
Okay.
Like you guys parked your cart like before it started jutting off into a peninsula. So yeah, we'll say you guys like pile up onto the cart. So what's the piling looking like? Who's on the outside and who's on the inside?
Duncan is on the inside of this thing.
Okay.
I was gonna have Telwyn up in the driver's seat with Duncan, but if Duncan won't drive, I
No,
guess
no.
Telwyn can. So is Duncan done for the day or something?
I mean, like he just suffered electrocution, falling, and
Explosion.
Explosion.
The face of an explosion.
Okay, poor
I'm climbing
Duncan.
in the back of the cart because thunderstorms do not ring well with me.
he's just traumatized by wizards.
Does this cart have like one of those little metal grate railings at the top?
Yeah, it's just like right on the very top.
I'm gonna lay down in the grate with the grate railing.
Okay, just right on
In the rain?
right on the top.
Yeah, in the rain, like Snoopy.
I mean, I'm sure it feels refreshing after like getting hit by a heat wave.
Oh yeah, I'm super warm right now. The backside of my body has like second, third degree burns. So
Yeah, it's just
Feels
like
pretty
it's
good.
just like Divinity Original Sin 2. You just like caught fire and now your status is set to warm for like a really long time.
exactly.
But just be it noted, you healing.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit like Snoopy in the top and play some tunes, and I guess I'll sing a little song from my home.
Okay. I'll have you roll a performance check just to see like
Oh, I'm not good at those. All right. Yeah.
It's pretty average. It's not like everybody can hear this as you like travel along
Yeah,
in your
again,
cart.
I haven't sang in a long time.
The voice sounds a little bit rusty. It kind of cracks a little bit every once in a while. You actually kind of like hit a few wrong notes here and there, but the banjo tries its best to kind of like fix the notes that
The
you mess
banjo
up.
is course correcting me.
Yeah, it just like you can almost like feel like you hit a wrong note and you feel like you're about to hit a second wrong note, and the banjo just like kind of like takes control of your fingers for a little bit to make sure you hit the right ones. But all in all, it's kind of average.
It's a morbid, almost uncanny sort of calm.
Yeah.
But technically, if we're short resting on the trip back and we're getting hit points, as long as I'm playing this little song, we get extra hit points back.
Yeah, so
Sweet.
if you guys want a short rest on this cart ride, you guys can spend hit points to get your hit points back. Osman, how much do you add an extra dice to their hit dice for getting health back?
That's a good question. I'm looking at that right now.
I think at level 8 you give like a D8?
I think it's a D8 extra hit points.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to roll some hit dice to regain some hit points for this short rest, you can add an extra D8 to it while he plays the song for you.
I would love that so much.
I would like to roll 2 hit dice.
Alright, 2 hit dice.
I'll
Anybody
roll
else rolling
just-
in?
I'll roll 1.
I'll roll 3. I'll roll 4.
Okay. Ooh, Osman, you got a lot.
Yeah, plus I get +2 on all of them because my Constitution modifiers. So
Also, Telwyn, if you want to add a D8, you get a free D8 with your roll from his
Yeah,
little song.
I rolled that one first,
Oh,
so
okay, I
she's
see.
back to full.
Cool. So everybody got a few.
need
Everybody got a few hit points back there as
Yeah.
Osmond's like kind of like playing this soothing song, with a little bit of few wrong notes here and there, but everybody does their best to like ignore the wrong parts.
it's a haunting melody.
It fits the
Also, that
mood.
3 literally got me right back up to my max. Like I hit exactly
It was just what you needed.
just what I needed.
All right, so it's mid-afternoon now. It's about 15 miles back to Vallaki. So I'm gonna say you guys probably get to the gates of Vallaki around nighttime. Yeah, right around nighttime.
I thought we were heading directly to the castle.
Are you crazy? Not a chance.
Well, Vallaki is along the way. Like, you have to pass by Vallaki to get to the castle itself. So on the map here, I'll pull this up. So can everybody see the map?
Yeah.
So you'll have to pass by Vallaki, pass the windmill and this cave over here, and then up through this.
Castle's a good, like, what, like 50 something?
Yeah, Castle's like
50
almost like
miles.
55 miles away.
On a,
We're stopping in Balaki for the night.
we're in a cart in a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
We can't really make much more progress tonight.
We're going back to the Burgomaster's mansion tonight.
We're just gonna, yeah, we should just head straight back, sleep, wake up at first light, or first night,
Probably gonna drive to the castle.
First dreary light.
yeah, and then just book it to the castle.
Alright, so you guys. Oh, hold on, I forgot to roll for encounters.
Oh no,
No, you don't gotta.
you already forgot. It's
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so as you guys go along, soothing melodies washing over you throughout this whole time, Viskopa tries his best not to talk too much since he knows that kind of annoyed a few people.
I'll talk
I mean,
to him.
we're up here on top of the thing. That was also kind of why I decided to Snoopy myself up here, just so he could like let out some steam and just start talking
Oh, okay.
while he's kind of like while no one below can really hear him that much.
So Mount 10, did you say you're up top with Osman as well?
Oh, are you at? No,
He's up on top of the carriage.
never mind then.
Yeah, that's
I
all
don't
right.
do rain or thunder.
So
I
Molly,
shiver as that lasts.
Telwyn, thankfully you can't hear the chattering of the skull through your earplugs as the skull just like goes on and on about inventions, steam projects, and clockwork projects, and the intricacies of building the tower and what it's like having to harness elementals and put them inside of constructs to animate them, and things like that.
Yeah, Telwyn will be very happy she doesn't hear any of that.
he talks about how like he prides himself on his architecture and how Castle Ravenloft is probably one of his crowning achievements. It's just a shame that Strahd had to remove his head from his body. He thought he just did so well with his work. He doesn't understand why Strahd would have been annoyed with him. And so he just
Helen would have an idea about that, but she doesn't hear him. She's glad.
So by the time nightfall comes, you get to Vallaki. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's still raining. The guards kind of let you in through this way. Did you guys want to stop off at the mansion for the night?
Yeah, we should just
Yes.
just heading straight there, not stopping for anything else. Just going there and sleeping, and then waking up early, and then going.
Okay. So in that case, you guys, as you get to the mansion, you guys can go ahead and take a long rest here. I'm gonna roll to see what the weather is like for the next day.
There is one thing that I would like to do,
Okay.
and I would like to approach Osmond and ask him to borrow our skeleton friend for a moment.
Osmond's gonna be a bit hesitant. You're not gonna hurt him or move him any place he would not prefer, right?
On the contrary, I have a rather unorthodox idea, which I think could be mutually beneficial to all of us.
All right. No offense, because you just seemed a little bit short-tempered earlier, and I'm just making sure that we're all going to stay casual in this situation.
You're welcome to see what I have in mind. Come, join me.
Well, is it going to take too long?
Well,
I
it
mean,
might.
I'll come with.
It might. It depends on our skeleton friend.
Oh, that's fine. I like joining. If you don't mind if I chat with my banjo for a little bit.
No, so I'll, you know, the nicely laid out like not kitchen table, but like the dining room table. Doug is gonna like go down into the dining room, just like take everything off the table, just like strip it of all its like dishes and glasses, and just like make it bare.
Okay.
He's gonna ask for the skull. He's gonna lay out the blueprints, and then he's going to come over and pour out the bag of Simon's body parts.
Oh, this is quite fascinating. What is this fine piece of work here?
I thought you might like that.
Yes, it's a bit mangled, a bit, but oh, this would be such a fascinating project if only I had hands.
Well, I happen to have some knowledge.
I
With,
happen to have hands. Sorry.
And I also happen to have hands with this kind of work. I have a bit of a hobby of tinkering with things, you see. Just a minor one. I'm an amateur.
I wouldn't have pegged you for the tinkerer type.
Well, you see, some of the weapons that I use have mechanisms that need to be maintained.
I see. So, what exactly would you like me to do? You want my input? You want my advice? I could improve him, maybe. Well, I would actually need to work on him myself, maybe. But I could probably give you input. But I could improve him. I could make him better. I could make him greater. I could make him stronger.
Yes, yes. My thought was that we could use this to make you a temporary body.
Oh. Ew. No. Ew. God, no. You want me to go inside a construct? Are you crazy?
Well, I mean, you would be in control of it. You would have hands.
I am a wizard. I will not stoop to such levels of being a mechanical creation, beautiful as they are, for sure, but I am a magnificent wizard, a damn good wizard. I was a lovely human being once upon a time. It's servant's work to be inside the construct, you see.
Well, if you're going to be stubborn, then I won't force you.
I just want to iterate that I am not a servant. I am well, to put it lightly, I'm a genius. I'm not a servant.
But unfortunately, in your current state, you're left to the whims of those around you, to carry you, to put you down, to pick you up, to do whatever. This might be demeaning, as it were, but it would give you back some of your autonomy. And can I do that as a persuasion?
Sure. He's really against this, so I'm going to warn you it's with disadvantage, but...
Well, what I will say is that with his top hat, he has advantage to persuasion,
that's right.
So
that'll balance it out.
Alright, and you know what? I'm going to use a point of inspiration on this. I'm going to use a D8 inspiration.
Alright.
Alright?
Okay.
Damn it.
So 17 persuasion. Yeah, okay. Mm, mm, I don't know. This is, oof, oof. This is a lot to think about. I have to think about it first.
Well,
It's a very strange commitment, and if my soul was put inside of this construct, it's very hard to get a soul out of a construct once you put one in. Unless well, actually no, you could just destroy the construct and the soul could come out. But in that case, I'd be left to the elements. I could like wander anywhere. I could wind up anywhere really. It's very scary.
well, I suppose I won't force you.
See, right now my soul is contained within this skull. It's it's animating this skull. So you see, if you would be putting my soul inside a little construct. I would.
I'm not asking you to use your soul to animate the construct. I'm merely want to use the construct as a vehicle.
Oh, so you want to put me on top of the vehicle?
Simply, yes. That's
well,
all.
why didn't you say so? That's much preferable. I thought you were going to put my soul inside this construct.
No. I just wanted to give you a little bit more autonomy. We mount your skull on the top of it, and you're free to move around.
Oh, I actually quite like that. I mean, assuming I could control it, of course. I don't know how I would control it. Do I have like little strings that I move about?
Can you move perhaps something where you use your eye to give it certain commands?
Possibly. I could use my eye, I could use my mouth, but then I wouldn't really be able to talk very well. And
you see, that might be a good idea.
What, me not being able to talk? I don't see how that would be helpful at all.
I know, it's not what I was saying. It's, you're a very charming and interesting individual. I was merely saying that perhaps some means of locomotion, using your mouth as a means of manipulation, I think...
Like reins, like puppet strings.
Precisely.
I could be a puppeteer.
Yes.
This could work. It might take some while for me to devise a means of doing so, you see. Certainly more than just one night it would take. But if worse comes to worse and we can't locate my body, I guess that's a good alternative.
Of course, my hands would be at your disposal in that regard, but there will be a cost to this.
How much?
Well, it's not a matter of how much, it's a matter of explanation. These blueprints, and like Duncan will slide the blueprints across. This is fascinating.
Oh, these are easy. This is like the easiest of easy sciences to make.
Well, of course, it might be easy to a mind like yours, but think of it as if you'd be explaining it to a child.
I could try that. Well, I could. I don't. So, I don't really need sleep. I don't know about you, but I could go on all night. I don't know how much sleep you mortals get. It's been some time since I've had like an actual body, so I don't remember what it's like. Well, actually, no. I rephrase that. I don't have to sleep, but I love to sleep. If that makes sense.
Frankly, it doesn't. But I'm past caring.
Well, sleeping just feels good. I don't know. Anyway, I could give you a bit of a rundown before you go to bed tonight, I guess.
Maybe not tonight. It might, as you said, it might take a couple nights, and we've had a long day. I mean, I was in a explosion and things like that. I was merely bringing you down here to consult with you about this, just to see if you were remotely interested.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to know anything about them, just let me know when you would like to go over them, and I'll explain them as best as I can.
Of course.
Okay. So, Telwyn, to answer you, it's not really a check to remember. It's just like if you decide you want to take them out again or not.
I mean,
well, for the night anyway, yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's up to you if you want to leave them in or not.
Well, just in case there's trouble in the night, I'll take them out.
Yeah, you're in a spot where like you can't really hear the skeleton talking from down below, or the skull talking from down below to Duncan.
Okay, well, Telwyn will sit outside to do her prayers to Saloon and say her prayers to Raven Queen and call it a night.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything for the night, or move on to the day?
Just move on.
So, the rainfall is lighter today. There's still a little bit of rainfall. It's not as heavy as it was yesterday. Um, just a little bit. There's still thunder overhead, but nowhere near as heavy. It's like you can still see like a good distance away through it all. That being said, there's not a lot of people out just because of the amount of rain. Nobody's like wandering about the streets very much. But you guys settle up your cart and start heading out towards the castle, yeah?
I think so.
Okay. So let's see. We've got a total of. You guys only have about 30 miles left. So walking that would normally take a full day. I'm gonna say you can get there by evening time.
Right. What was the weather again?
Light rainfall with a little bit of thunder clouds overhead.
Okay.
I am tucked tight inside the cart.
So Mountain's tucked tight inside the cart.
Anytime there's like a little flash of lightning or thunder, he kind of shakes a little and then closes his eyes and takes a deep breath and then...
Aww. Okay. Where's everybody else?
I guess
I
the
guess-
usual spot.
Okay, everybody's
me,
just doing
at
the
least.
usual.
Yeah, Duncan's feeling a bit better, so he can probably drive.
Dylan will sit up front next to Duncan.
Alright, so let's see what happens. Alright, so as you make your way past the gates, guards tip their hats to you. As you go out through the gates, along the winding road to the east, you pass through the forest. It's not as bad as it was yesterday. It's a little bit chilly today. A little bit of a chill hanging in the air. A light fog, like low to the ground, but not high enough to like obscure things. Just kind of makes the ground a little bit misty looking. But as you make your way through, you manage to get to the clearing finally, where you see a long stretch of road heading up to the northeast, and then down a little bit southwest you see that old familiar windmill site from before, that when you first came down into this valley. I think it's like 10 miles into the distance to the southwest, and then up ahead you see up ahead down to the south you can see the trail kind of winding up through the mountains into Castle Ravenloft. Does anybody else want to do? This is about midday here, kind of like the midpoint as we travel along.
I think we're rolling for Castle Ravenloft.
All right.
We're just going straight through.
Oh gosh.
I haven't rolled
Speedrun.
any random encounters yet so far.
That's good. It's just been a chill day, just talking to a skull. It's a grand old day.
All right. So yeah, you're sort of on the top chatting with the skull every once in a
Yeah,
while, just kind of seeing
Just
like what he's
smoking
up to.
some flay leaf, just sitting on the top, talking to a skull. I guess I could offer anybody else any flay leaf if they want to. I'll offer some to Duncan since he's driving. It just helps you relax a little bit.
Yeah, Duncan, do you want a cigarette?
Yes, actually, that might not be a bad idea. What is this again? It smells horrible, but it does have a bit of a earthy aroma that I'm quite enjoying.
It's known as flay leaf. It comes from my hometown. Well, it's not from my hometown originally, but it has been drastically imported to a point where we are drowning in the stuff. So I got more than enough to spare for you.
Is this going to make me like you? Like, don't take this the wrong way, but is it going to make me like you?
A bard?
Yeah,
A musician?
yes, a musician, yes.
I am not entirely sure. I have not, and I just kind of space for a second. Look, it's fine. It's pretty good. I mean, look at me. And I motion to my sopping wet cloak and my ratty hat and my
Duncan's
spooky banjo.
in that moment, Duncan's just like, what wants to know what he's looking at because this guy looks like a vagabond hobo.
I'm a drifter. I'm a mess.
I feel like this could be a gateway to horrible things, but you know what? I think I need something to help me relax after, especially considering where we're going. So he'll take a pipe. or a cigarette or whatever it is.
I mean, I could. I mean, I had rolled one for you, but I could unroll it and put it in a pipe if you
No,
want
no,
to
no,
be
no, no,
fancy.
no. Cigarette is fine.
All right, so he hands you the cigarette. Viskopa just kind of mentions like that's bad for your health. At that point,
Well, all things considered, I think the best thing for our health right now would be turning this cart around and taking it straight back. What more harm could we do to ourselves?
A lot of things are killing us, Viskopa, all the time. I mean, look at you.
hey now.
I didn't mean that. I did not mean that in a rude way. I apologize.
I did not kill myself with poisons. I had someone kill me. So, well, they didn't really kill me. They just kind of chopped my head off and put a little spell on me so that I would stay permanently skullified.
And Duncan will take a puff of this thing, but he like does it like so effeminately, like he's just like pinching it between his like thumb and forefinger, just kind of like, you know, like he's just like pursing his lips and his mustache is all like flared out, like puffing at it.
Do you have to make constitution checks with these flayleaf things?
Oh man, that's a good question.
I want to see just like if it makes you cough or anything, just like smoker's cough there.
Yeah, it is. The DC is
say,
so low. I don't think you said that I could just like bypass it.
I think
mean,
for you, like
could.
since you're so used to smoking these, like you don't have to worry about like coughing when you smoke them. I think 13's good enough where like you kind of like feel like this acrid choking.
Yeah,
but like I'm assuming
the first time smoker's voice. It's good.
I'm assuming Duncan's like smoked I'm assuming Duncan smoked a pipe before.
Oh yeah, of course.
This is a little bit more concentrated than a pipe, but
that was quite a hit to it.
it's quite flavorful though, from what you can tell, Duncan.
Very heady. It's not bad actually. And he'll just enjoy smoking his cigarette, you know, on their way to potential doom.
Okay, so as you guys you start winding up through the hills up to Castle Ravenloft itself, and yeah, so you're going upwards northern, or no, this is to the south. I'm sorry, to the south. As you get higher and higher, it gets a little bit more chill. You notice there's a little bit more fog settling on the ground all around you, and as you wind through the forest and the mountain peaks, the road takes a sudden turn to the east, and suddenly you see the startling yet awesome presence of Castle Ravenloft towering before you. And I think I should put a little picture just to set the mood. You just see, up winding on the hills, the castle itself, the bridge leading over this large, deep precipice down below. You could see that there's these twin turrets of stone broken from years of exposure. Beyond the guard towers, the precipice, it's about a 50-foot wide chasm that just disappears for who knows how long down to the depths below. There's a lower drawbridge of old, shored-up wooden beams stretching across the chasm between you and the archway of the courtyard. The chains of the drawbridge are creaking in the wind. The strain of the iron is just straining under the weight of the wind, and atop the walls you can see stone gargoyles staring at you from their hollow eye sockets as they just kind of grin at you from the tops of the turrets of this little guard tower here. You could see a rotting wooden portcullis green with growth hanging above the entry tunnel. It's been raised so as not to block the entranceway, and beyond this location you could see the main doors of Ravenloft itself.
Okay. Duncan will rein in the horses. And he'll turn back to Osman and Viskopa or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Viskopa.
You designed this place, really?
Yes, it's quite a proud achievement of mine. It took me a few years to make, but I'm quite proud of the end result. It's one of the finer pieces of architecture. Strahd wanted me to model it after his homeland, kind of the architecture back from his homeland.
Yes, it's very, very impressive. Let me ask you a quick question. Is there any way in that doesn't involve us going across this horribly exposed drawbridge?
Oh, certainly not. This is the only way in. It's kind of designed that way on purpose. Unless you have any way of flying.
I mean, we do, but...
I'm gonna poke my head out of the carriage.
Since Kyle's not here for Rocky, I'm just gonna say he is kind of sulks a little bit at that.
Like ruffles his feathers, like a chill, shivering chill.
Yeah.
I'm gonna poke my head out of the carriage and kind of look up. Has there been any lightning lately?
There's a little bit of lightning, not too much, but there's still slightly some.
In your experience, Viskopic, is there anything that watches these gates? I mean, that's a silly question to ask, but
When I was still working for Strahd, he usually kept some kind of patrol around the outside. They would pass by every once in a while. They don't just stand in place, though.
all right. So Duncan will turn to Telwyn, and he'll like give her a pat and like gesture for her to pull out the stoppers in her ears.
Yes?
We're here, and we're in a situation where there might be patrols of guards that look over the front entrance. If we take some time, we might be able to observe their presence and find a time when we can slip in unnoticed. Do you have any ideas about perhaps how to get past them, or go into a place like this unseen?
Tolan studies the castle. This is the only entrance?
I see
Yes, unfortunately, it is
Oh,
the only entrance in.
That's why. Okay, I see.
All right.
Oh, can you see that?
Castle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good now.
It would be watched, and there is no way to evade the watch.
Well, you just have to make sure you sneak past the guard. He usually just... Strahd keeps, like, strange creatures guarding the place every once in a while, but they're not that attentive, I've found.
Is the gate down currently?
Yes, the gate is currently open for you.
Oh, it's open?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And Duncan will look back to Osmond and Mautan. I hate to ask you this, but would you be willing to scout?
Oh,
Ahead?
of course. Small problem. I can't see that far, so it'll take me a little bit of feeling around.
What about you, Mautan? Could you maybe fly up and get the lay of the land?
He looks up at the sky. I suppose.
It's okay, Mautan. You don't have to if you really don't want to. Or we could both face our fears. I could go forward, you can go up. Sometimes it's easier facing your fears together.
This is true. Oh. I'm gonna walk. Is this like the edge of the bridge over here?
Yeah, so
Is
like
it just like
on
a
the,
drop
on,
down below?
on the right and yeah, so like the bridge is like right behind you. It should look like little planks right behind you guys.
Oh, this is the bridge.
Yeah, that right there is the bridge. So as you look down, it looks like it goes down, like into like it goes so far down that there's just like mist all the way down. Like you can't even tell how far down this drop goes even. And then to either side of you, it looks like these are like guard towers of some kind. And up at the top of these guard towers, there's these grinning, hollow eye socket gargoyles staring down at you from above. The guard towers themselves, they're actually pretty high. They're about 60 feet high.
Alright, what am I looking for exactly?
You probably want to fly ahead and look for the patrols that are coming across.
I'm sorry, did you say what were you looking for?
Yes.
That is a very good question. I guess just creatures skittering, moving across the ground, besides me, of course, and various entry points, entryways.
Alright, Mautan's gonna put his index and thumb fingers together, take a deep breath, and mutter, almost like a hymn, or not a hymn, like a chant or something in Aran.
Okay.
And he's gonna flap his wings and fly off and look for those things.
Okay, so we'll say that you're kind of flying right above the courtyard right now. You could see there's some kind of figure pacing around. So in the courtyard itself, there's this cold fog swirling around the ground in the courtyard itself. You can see sporadic flashes of lightning lancing the clouds overhead, and through the drizzle, you can see torch flames fluttering on either side of the keep's main doors. You can also see above the entrance, it looks like stained glass window, right, like high up above the entranceway to the main door itself. If you want to like fly around the courtyard, you can. You could see also there's just like a figure kind of walking around.
What kind of figure?
Well, go ahead and make a perception check. How high are you right now?
Maybe like 10 feet or so.
Okay, so 10 feet into the air.
Yeah, I don't want to get too high because of the storm.
Okay, I'll have you roll a perception check then. Hard to see. You notice that it looks like a cloaked figure of some kind. He's got like this black shawl around his face, so you can't actually see the face itself. There's like this purple light coming out from like the chest area of the cloak, like from inside the cloak itself. It looks like there's like this glowing purple light. But he's kind of making his way, walking. He's currently going to the north side of this courtyard.
He has light coming out of his cloak?
Yeah, it looks like there's like the cloak itself is like hiding this purple light coming out from him.
Anything else that I see?
Yeah, if you want to move
Like
around.
entrances?
Yeah, there's the main entrance. You notice there's more gargoyles up along the top of the entrance. There's stained glass window up the top of that too. To the north, it looks like the courtyard bends around the castle, and also to the south, the courtyard also bends around that side of the castle too, kind of making a loop. And do you want to like investigate one of those areas?
Yeah.
Okay. So which way do you want to go? You notice the figure going the north way.
Oh, I'm sorry, say that again?
So you notice that figure going the north way, so I'm assuming you probably want to go south?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to move your character into that courtyard and go south, you should be able to see some of the courtyard there. If you want to go ahead and do that.
This way?
Yeah. So as you go, if you want to go southwards, there's the courtyard itself bends around the castle a little bit. And if you go far enough, you could see there's kind of so there's this outer wall behind you here, and then the wall kind of like intersects through the courtyard itself as well. There's gates blocking off what looks like another side of the courtyard entirely. So there's just this wall intersecting the courtyard here. If you go down far enough.
Right here?
Yeah. I don't know. It is also kind of dark out.
Yeah.
But to the east this way, there's a wall as well with some gates, what looks like going towards like another section of courtyard.
Down this way?
Yeah, down that way.
Is this gate closed?
Yes, it is currently closed right now.
Is there like a levee or pulley system or something outside?
It's about a 20-foot wide, 20-foot tall archway, blocked by an iron portcullis. It looks like there's a pulley itself, but it's on the other side of the bars. It'd be hard to you could probably almost reach it, but then again, it'd be really hard to even pull that from this position. But like I said, the wall's 20 feet tall, and you also can fly.
Are there any like windows, like open windows or anything?
It doesn't look like any of the windows are open, but you notice there's up on like what looks like the second floor area, there's stained glass windows.
But no like regular windows that can be like opened or anything like that?
It doesn't look like that, no. There, you do see there's like slits for like archers, like you know those little thin archer slits that you would see on castles.
The arrow slits.
There's those all along this level, and there's some up on like the top levels too, as you go up the walls. But it's mostly those kind of windows, and then the other kind of windows are stained glass. but that's pretty much what stands out from you in
And
this
what was
courtyard.
this door over here?
That looks
I
like it
can't
leads
make
in. That looks like it leads inside the guard tower. These
Okay.
are wooden doors with like little iron strips going along down the doors, and there seems to be handles on those doors as well.
And the guy went down this way.
Yeah, he was walking down
Can
this
I
way.
stealth and go down this way?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
So... Deal.
So that is an 8. As you begin moving along this way, you
I'm not used to flying in the rain, and
Yeah.
I start flapping pretty loud.
there's a bright flash of thunder, and it lights up your face, and you almost like jump at it and let out a little tiny shriek that you can't.
Squawk.
Yeah, it's like a little tiny squawk that you can't but help let out, and you see the figure start to turn and look around, trying to locate the source of this noise, and begins moving closer this way towards you.
I'm gonna fly up a little higher, like 5 feet higher.
Okay. So you fly 5 feet higher. It's looking around. Right now you notice it's looking around ground level.
Yeah.
As you go up a little bit higher, I'm going to have you make another stealth check.
There we
That's really good. That's a 20. Okay. So as you go up a little higher, you kind of... I want to say I kind of picture you like kind of hugging the wall a little bit now of like this guard tower as he's like looking around and
go.
just
Kind
like
of trying to blend in with the architecture.
yeah, and he's just
As one of the, I'll pretend to be one of the gargoyles.
yeah. So you just like you're right next to one of the gargoyles. You notice he looks up for a second. You could swear he like almost sees you, and then kind of tilts his head a little bit, and then starts moving back
Can
again.
I make him? Can I make him out better from this position?
Yeah, I'll see. You can roll another perception check as he's looking, trying to find you, and he's seeing. Okay, that's really good actually. So upon closer inspection, you do see like this purple light, and it looks like the purple light itself is originating from like this rib cage, and the rib cage itself is glowing this purple light, and it looks like this skeletal face underneath the shawl of the hood with purple lights coming from where the eye sockets in the mouth should be. You can see now like he's got these long gnarled bony fingers.
How big is he?
He is about 5 feet 8, 5
Okay.
feet 9.
For some reason I was picturing him as like those giant like skeleton thingies from Bloodborne.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No,
Okay,
he's not that big.
Okay, that's a lot less intimidating. I'm just picturing these giant glowing skeletons with a robe. Okay, I'm gonna fly back. I'm pretty stealth. So can I just keep moving forward and following him?
Yeah, you can follow him. So you see him move around. You can see like the turrets all around. You see that there's actually
Cut
like
him.
you see on these like turrets over to like you see to the right of you there. There's like ballistae and like I think that's how you pronounce that. Ballistae and like
Ballista?
ballista and like what are the ones that like throw the rocks, things like that.
Trebuchet?
Yeah, there's trebuchets and ballista on these actually. And as he moves along, you can see he goes around this north side of the courtyard, going along this way. You can see there's another one of those gates, like another one of those walls with the gates intersecting through there. And he kind of just goes up to the gate, and he kind of just morphs through it. Like his body just passes through the bars like they're not even there. His body just kind of wisps out of existence for a little bit. Well, not out of existence. His body just kind of, it looks like he
Goes through it.
yeah, like Kitty Pryde style, just phases through it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then he just keeps going through the other side.
It looks like he's making a circle around the castle.
Okay. How fast is he walking?
Not extremely fast. It's kind of just like at a half movement speed, sort of.
Alright. I'll fly back to the group and tell them everything I just saw.
Okay. So Mountan fills you all in. What would you all like to do in this instance? He lets you know that skeletal figure has gone around the north side of the castle, kind of gone through another section of gate, and is like looping his way around the back of the castle right now.
Then perhaps now is our chance.
Certainly seems that way.
So what's the plan?
I'll take the lead.
And we tread carefully and quietly.
That doesn't sound like a plan, but okay.
Plan can we really have? We have to find the girl.
I have a suggestion, the skull says from the bag.
We head towards the nearest door we can find, probably.
Viskopa has a plan.
Yes. How good are you at making soft footfalls?
Soft what falls?
Footfalls.
Oh,
Some
my-
of us are better than others.
My
Footfalls.
feet can make the tiniest little falls.
That's good. So my suggestion is, I know I'm not the best at this, but I'm going to try my best. Remain absolutely silent as we go through. I'll chime in here and there when I kind of know the general direction that we're heading to. So we're looking for this girl, right?
That is correct.
I wear chainmail. It's very difficult to walk quietly in chainmail.
Yes,
Could
that's
take
quite
it
difficult.
off.
Does anybody have some kind of spell for, like, I don't know, stealthing?
This is where
Yeah.
Rocky would chime in.
I'm pretty sure Rocky has Pass Without a Trace. Let me double
He
check.
can cast Pass
Silence.
Without a Trace.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he
Oh,
has it.
man.
Yeah,
Rocky can cast
Kyle's
silence. He's done it before.
Kyle's internet has completely cut out, so he's not here. I think he like left. His internet cut out completely out, like while you guys were still up in the tower.
Let me RP this moment for him though, okay? So this is what he would do. He would totally just you know, like he'd be copying something like damn cat, shut up. He would say something along the lines
Yeah,
of like
It's 2 key
you know-
points for Pass Without a Trace, so he's got that.
soft footballs, and he'd like strut forward, looking at Mao Tan, glaring at him. And then he would activate his Pass Without a Trace and like show off.
Okay, so I'm gonna spend the 2 key points, Pass Without a Trace, so everybody for stealth gets to add +10 to their stealth rolls.
Oh, cry.
For how long?
I believe Pass
That's
Without a
10
Trace
minutes.
lasts for, is it 10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the next 10 minutes, I mean, he can spend key points and cast it again. So, but for the next 10 minutes, you guys can have. I feel like Pass Without a Trace lasts longer than that.
Does it?
I thought it was
Thought it
like
was-
10 minutes.
That's what I
Right.
thought. That's what I thought it was.
It is
It is 1 hour.
Oh,
1 hour.
Oh, man! That is a good spell.
It is concentration though.
It's
I never
okay.
actually realized that Pass Without a Trace is concentration.
Alright, so we roll
So for-
stealth and add
yeah,
10 to it.
So for the next hour, you guys get +10 to your stealth rolls as
Did
long as
we
Karaki's
long
concentrated on
rested,
that.
correct?
Yes, you guys
Mhm.
long rested.
We did, yeah.
Okay. I forgot to put my spells back in working order.
Okay, so stealth and then add 10.
Everybody gets 10 for 1 hour, as long as Rocky's concentrating on that.
26.
So yeah, that's
20.
that's 23 for Duncan, 26 for Osmond, 20 for Mountan. I'll roll for Rocky. That's 15 for Telwyn. It is also with disadvantage, so I'm just gonna have you roll again. Where's Rocky's stealth? So Rocky's
I
got
still have a 15.
so 15 for Telwyn. That's a 32 for Rocky. That's almost as good as Victor Dazzlin.
Nothing can be.
That time Victor Dazzlin rolled 40 on his stealth check. Without Pass
And-
Without a Trace.
Yeah, without Pass Without a Trace, and literally walked past the creature with 4 heads that had like a 32 passive.
Alright, so you guys are pretty well stealth as you go up along the castle. You go up to the doors. They are these heavy wooden doors with like the iron bands going down them. 2 iron torches, one on either side of the door. They're like those big 10-foot tall doors, almost 15-foot tall doors actually.
Can you move us ahead on the map, just like bit by bit, so we know where we're going?
Yeah, so if you keep moving to the east, that'll be to the front of the castle. So like I'll put Rocky over where the front is. So like over here is where like the entranceway is. But yeah, there's like right in front of you guys, right there will be where the door is. It's kind of like the giant doors that just Aragorn just walks through in Two Towers.
Gotcha.
Right here?
Yeah, right there is where the door would be. I think another map has it better though. Hold on. I have to be sure on this because there's like 7 maps of this castle. Oh yes, this one's much better. Okay, I'm gonna move you guys over to this map because it's a lot better looking. Alright, so I'll move Rocky. Can everybody see themselves?
Yes.
Alright, Rocky's standing like right in front of those doors.
And this is the front gate or whatever.
Yes, this will be the front gate. What would everybody like to do?
Guess we'll pop out Viskopa and ask him,
Yes, what would you like to know?
where the hell do we go?
Well, usually you might want to go through the doors. It should be fine, I didn't put any traps on the door.
Alright, we will very carefully open these doors.
I'll open this one.
Okay, so you guys kind of just, with a collective push, swing the doors open. I'll go
Can we
ahead.
like push them open to like enough that there's a crack that we can just all squeeze through that? But like comfortably squeeze through?
Sure.
Like Scooby-Doo.
I'm gonna remove the door so that you guys can just see inside the room, but we'll just assume that there's just a crack.
Yeah, just big enough that it's not like a tight squeeze.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll turn down the storm music as you guys head inside. Or you guys aren't inside yet.
Whoa, ambiance.
Yeah, you guys aren't inside yet, are you?
I am now,
Not yet.
because I
yeah.
just moved my token in.
Okay.
I will be the first to die,
I
as this room
Totally.
fills with gas.
First.
I get to use my ambient castle
I
music.
am.
Alright, Castlevania music, where are ya?
Guys, wait for me. I have no dark
It's not,
vision.
it's not.
I don't
I
either.
lose you.
Neither do
I
I.
lose you every time I walk like 5 feet away.
Neither do I.
I don't have it either.
Guys, we gotta stick together. We're all we have.
Should I light? While we're sneaking, we probably shouldn't have any torches or any. I don't have a torch. What do I have?
Yeah, we don't want to light anything up. I
On
think.
everybody, weapons.
I have a. What do I have? I have a hooded lantern.
That'll work perfectly, actually.
Because that only makes light in a cone.
Yeah.
Or Telwyn can cast light on everybody's
Well,
weapons.
no, we don't.
No.
We don't want that. We don't want that. We need stealth light.
Okay.
'Cause a
Okay.
hood, and I can also like shutter the lantern if I need to.
Alright. So inside, you could see this, it's kind of like this grand hall, but there's another set of double doors inside of here as well. Overhead, in the vaulted entry foyer that you guys are standing in, there are 4 statues of dragons glaring down at you, their eyes kind of flickering almost in the darkness, kind of glinting from the light coming in from outside the torches.
Can we do the same thing with these doors as we did with the
Yeah,
last one?
so I'll have you guys are gonna crack these doors open.
Yes.
Okay, so you crack open these doors a little way. This one's a bigger entryway itself. You can see cobwebs stretching between the columns that support the vaulted ceiling of this dusty hall. There are these sputtering torches in sconces. The torches cast odd shadows across 8 stone gargoyles squatting motionlessly on the rim of the dome's ceiling, and cracked and faded ceiling frescoes are covered in decay. You can see double doors of bronze standing close to the east of you, and to the north there's a wide staircase climbing into the darkness above. To the hallway there's a south. To the hallway to the south there's another set of there's another hallway going downwards, and to the west of there you can see another set of bronze doors, and to the east another hallway. What looks like it's leading to some kind of stairs going downwards and upwards at the same time. And you just are greeted by this chill silence that comes through in this area. It's just like this eerie quiet that settles over everything as you guys enter your way inside of Strahd's castle. And I'm actually gonna end our session with that.
Oh. Look at that. Don't forget to bring up Rocky, eh?
Yeah, I'll make sure to put him in here. Has this good for ambience, or should there be more music, you think? Is this good?
This is fine.
Okay. I want.
Since I had to give up my headset, I don't hear music at all.
I just kind of have like this subdued music. It's like very light because I was like, I kind of want music, but I don't want it to be overwhelming music.
It's just very like faint music with like wind noise, and it's pretty ominous.
Yeah, I was going for like the little Resident Evil vibe.
I guess I'm going to have to save up for a new laptop.
I'm gonna stop recording here.